Hello and welcome to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Championship between the number 1 seed Trashcans and the number 2 seed Kinetix. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, and I'm joined by Corbeck. So excited for this game, man. Obviously, last week of the season, I feel like it's flown by, but we have the top 2 teams in the Rival Tier tied up 6-2, ready to play this game. How do you feel?
It's the finals, Salton. It's how it should be. The top 2 teams in their division slugging it out here across, what is this, 5 maps. It's going to be awesome. I'm very much looking forward to this game. I know these 2 teams have, I think you were mentioning, met each other before. There's a little bit of history here, some rivalry. It's going to be a good game.
Well, and you're exactly right. Going back to week 5 when these 2 teams played each other, ended up being a 2-1 win from Trashcans coming from behind early on in Volskaya, which is the second map in this pool. It was Kinetix coming through and ended up winning this game in 4. It was just a slugfest here on Volskaya. Both teams capped the map, and then in the subsequent rounds, Kinetix went back, capped the second round that came through, and ended up getting the win on this map, then going back to, I believe it was Nepal. Trashcans came back and won that game. Then a fantastic team play on their attack on Rialto, recognizing the attack on the side, got a nade in, got the wall in, able to get through, and got the win here on Rialto to win the game 2-1. So very tight game between these 2 sides. They're very familiar with each other. They get the team kill there. They go on to win the game. So very familiar with each other coming in as the 1 and 2 seeds. And I'm just excited for this game. I think that we can definitely expect a good one. It is a best-of-5 series starting out here on Watchpoint. Go into Volskaya next, and then it's a control point after that, I believe. Yeah, Ilios, then Kingsrow if necessary, Lijiang, then Nepal if we do need, for what reason, a 6th map to break these 2 teams. But I believe we have just about everybody ready to go. And Corbeck, I mean, what are you expecting coming into this game?
Well, I know that I've been watching both these teams actually move through their playoff brackets, and they're both looking absolutely fine. Trashcans playing super organized. Kinetix as well has been playing some really good Overwatch. One thing that I think I've noticed, and I can't remember if this was particularly rival tier, a lot of other tiers, I think it was rival tier though, is just a lot of stacking of ults, like using all the ultimates together in one big like ult fiesta. So maybe we might see that a little bit. It'll be interesting to see. I mean, those are such game-changing abilities, how they'll be committed, whether it'll be in the pattern of a lot of other playoff games where suddenly everybody's let's rip when you're sitting on a 5 ultimate bank. But hopefully maybe a little bit more strategic. I expect a lot from these 2 teams, if I'm being honest. Yeah,
definitely. I know that we can just having a hard time saying enough about all the dominant players. Obviously, Headrammer, a familiar face in the league, playing support for Trashcans. You've got Ryukin as well, a very strong DPS player. Evan Vasquez on a tank can be really solid. But for Kinetix, they've got a really strong tank line up front as well. Dizzy Whitelaw, the tank player that I am generally a huge fan of. Trigo as well, and Awful Reflexes there on the DPS, along with Dazzle and Daniel Orford on the support line. So Kinetix also very well equipped to win this game. Again, both teams coming in 6-2 and separated by just a single map in week 5. So I'm excited for this best-of-5 series and see what they have for us.
Yeah, and I think the real thing that should be getting people hyped right now is just how evenly matched these 2 teams are. Royal Killer has played an amazing Reinhardt throughout the entire season and through the playoffs, and the exact same thing can be said of Dizzy Whitelaw. His Reinhardt has been an absolute game changer, and with the way that main tanks have become so important with the meta changes recently, I think we can expect a very close match. I don't know how many different ways I could say it, but it is what it is. It's going to be such a close game. You guys are in for some amazing Overwatch, so it's so good. I'm so glad that you all could be here to watch this, because this is going to really be something.
For the attackers coming out, it's Kinetix here on your right-hand side. The red team go Dizzy Whitelaw, the tank line, Zarya Reinhardt, Awful Reflexes, and Minty going long-range attack, Hanzo Widow, Daniel Orford, and Dazzle, keeping everybody up on the Ana Lucio. For the defenders, a very mobile defense from them. Ryukin looking for maybe the possible fair threat on the McCree, but I think we'll find some success there regardless. Evan Vasquez over on the Duke. This is Tragic and Royal both go Diva Reinhardt tank line. Then a nice mobile Lucio Moira combo for the supports for the defenders, Trashcans. As the payload starts to peel around, the defenders taking a very high angle approach to this defense. They'll drop down here behind the initial choke and will meet underneath. Evan Vasquez getting a quick pick onto Minty and taking out the long-range threat early. Getting a second pick, however, onto Daniel Orford, having a right off the bat going on a tear. Awful Reflexes finally stops the damage just a little bit, but I think the defenders will win this round very early on. Trashcans starting well here for it.
Yeah, Trashcans just dropped down immediately and engaged. They played that exactly how you want to play it, but they need to reset their defense now. Should probably get back up to the high ground. I can see Royal Killer maybe just trying to build up a little bit of ult charge there. Just approaching, I think, our first ultimate of the game in Earth Shatter, and he probably will want to use it. And of course, Evan Vasquez on the Doomfist. Doomfist is in such a place as a hero right now that it's really hard to stop. Yeah, it looks like the two tanks here engaging underneath. Dizzy Whitelaw just pushing the lines forward a little bit here. Royal Killer shifting up. Trigo in the front line too, just doing their best to burn down Royal Killer's shield. Royal Killer drops the hammer. I didn't really get much from that, but the counter hammer was big. Unfortunately, Dizzy Whitelaw goes charging in the backline. He's immediately brought down. It's 2 initial picks here. Make it 3 for Trashcans. Ryukin getting brought down somewhere in the back, but it won't matter. Evan Vasquez just on cleanup duty, and once again, Sultan, they hold strong here.
Yeah, that was impressive. Kind of disappointing to see the defensive shadow come out from Royal Killer, but then obviously the other one from Dizzy Whitelaw caught a few, but they didn't have the follow-up. Just got completely melted in the back, and the defense was able to clean up that kill. Now with 2 minutes left and just a single ultimate from Awful Reflexes, I'm not sure what the approach is coming to this next push, but maybe we'll try and bait out a couple of the ultimates building here for the defenders. Immediately, Awful Reflexes, though, getting a kill into Ryukin, leveling the field, though. Evan Vasquez getting that Hanzo down. It's a 5v5 here for the attackers. Do they continue trying to push? And I see them with a little bit of this high ground space. Minty now over to a Brigida. They switch down and come and engage this Reinhardt. He gets left immediately. It's fantastic purpling, though, from Daniel Orford. Here comes the bomb the other direction. Dizzy Whitelaw's able to get a pick, but I think the attack may have a little bit of this momentum. No one's on the payload, though, Corbett.
No one's pushing it forward. The fight continuing. Sound barrier coming out now. And they're really trying to just keep the fight going for as long as possible here. The sound barrier actually not capitalized very well on there. They fall immediately back into cover. And now Evan Vasquez is going to town. He's picked his target. He will get brought down, though, but not before Daniel Ford goes down as well. The Reinhardt battle emerges with Royal Killer as the winner. That's going to create a lot of space here. And if you are Kinetix, Sultan, I think you're thinking about disengaging from this fight right now.
Yeah, it looks like they're doing just that, coming in and just trying to retreat as much as possible. Trigo trying to stay up with a pretty good charge. Finally gets brought down. Does have a grab dragon combo here, plus the nade from Daniel Orford for the side of the attackers, but they're running out of time. Just 50 seconds left, 3 ultimates, including 2 support ultimates for the defenders' Trashcans, and I think they're actually starting this game about as well as they could have hoped. This defense has looked really solid so far. We'll see if Kinetix has something up their sleeve, but they're kind of running out of racetrack here.
They are really indeed. There's 30 seconds left on the clock. They do have 4 ultimates in the bank, nearly 5 there with Dizzy coming up on his hammer down, and they really need to make a play here. This is where you want your heroes to shine in the finals. Meteor Strike going up right away there. Oh, Trio survives it, though. He doesn't get any targets. Grab is out, but there's no follow-up. Sound barriers thrown in. There comes the Dragons across it. I think it's a little too late, though. There won't be anything in it. A big hammer down, counter hammer down going out. All the ultimates being used. Diva Bomb out. It's no one, but it's 3 kills now for Kinetix, and they might just have broken this at the very last second here.
I think exactly right. In overtime, I think they're going to be able to cap this. Dizzy Whitelaw with a nice little combo and a beautiful shadow there. Finally, at the death, Kinetix rolling to the checkpoint. Get another 2 minutes and 30 seconds as you see the silhouettes of the defenders coming back through. This is the part where it'll be crucial. How aggressively does Kinetix come into this? If they can get a pick early and offset the fight, that's a long spawn for the defenders' Trashcans. They can take the momentum to make up some of that time they lost in the first section of this map.
And I think they got lucky there to a certain extent that they actually managed to emerge out on top, because their big play, the grab dragon, was essentially entirely shut down by a really well-timed sound barrier. But now things may be not going so much Kinetix's way. It's a big scramble in here. Royal Killer eventually getting the kill, and he's pushing the support and Trigo back out the door. Evan Vasquez just annihilating on this Doomfist. He has been popping up in the kill feed so much, Sultan. He seems unstoppable right now.
Yeah, he really does. Really a thorn in the side of Kinetix. And, what's the solution here? Because they've already got Minty on the Brigida. You kind of expect to take out those kind of chaotic heroes that go into the back and mess with your supports and tank line and just kind of cause problems. But it doesn't seem to be as big of a priority for them as maybe they need to make it. And he's just kind of having a field day back here. So just going back in immediately under Daniel Orford, able to retreat quickly, gets the health of the supports, and if they don't do something about Evan Vasquez, I think Kinetix are going to have a difficult time continuing to push this midsection as the defenders get a shorter and shorter respawn towards the end of the map.
Meteor Strike coming in again, a sound barrier to just protect the supports and keep them alive. Finally, Evan Vasquez slept and brought down in the back. Daniel Ford finally hitting something. And that actually will break this open, though they did have to invest the sound barrier to make it work. But it was a really good play there, actually, to counter the Doomfist ultimate. High Noon going out somewhere in the world.
I think he used it just so he could switch, maybe to try and, I think just using the voice lines, maybe zone out the attackers a little bit, but Ryukin was always switching here to the Dragon, to the Genshi rather. Now here comes the Grab Dragon combo. They catch a few, and now they get a couple of the kills. Finally, Alpha Reflex grabbing a nice double. They've got the Nano on the Trigo as the attack really starts to turn the screw a little bit. Yeah, the defender's just scattering here, and again, right at the death, this time with a little bit more time. But, you know, less than 30 seconds nonetheless. They will cap B and move on to this third checkpoint. So nice resiliency here from Kinetix. Trashcans have been playing this defense pretty hard, but they keep looking for their opportunities, finding them, albeit a little late, and getting the benefit. So obviously in overtime, capping that first checkpoint, they're in a much better position than they were maybe 2 minutes or so ago.
I mean, they're all on fire, Salt. That's count for something here as they just come storming forward. And now it really looks as though it's the Trashcans who are kind of searching for answers. Rally coming out, getting armor up on the entire team. The two Reinhardts just smacking into each other there in the midst of it all. But again, just a lot of space being given up here. The Trashcans having to fall back. Finally, Royal Killer goes down. He was just getting absolutely abused on that front line by Dizzy Whitelaw, and somebody's going to have to make a stand here at some point in time. It's not going to be Ryuking, though. He gets brought down almost immediately by some combined firepower, and here comes the payload.
I like the idea with the pin there from Dizzy. Again, just playing aggressive and creating space for the payload to push behind, and it's working so far, but here comes Shadow the other direction from Royal. Yeah, but the Dragon Strike, I think, will protect the attackers on the point. They get the kills they need. Ryuk and Yola, when they've got the grab at spawn just to avoid any additional assailants, and that is it. Kinetix will cap the map. A very strong start for them on Watchpoint Gibraltar.
Yeah, despite starting out looking a little bit rough, they really managed to turn that one around and just push. Like you were saying, really good resiliency too. And you kind of have to wonder how much maybe failing to get that stop at point one kind of affected Trashcans there too, just from a mental standpoint. They fought so well on that early defense and they put so much effort into it. And then just have it blown open in overtime was probably a little bit heartbreaking, for lack of a better word.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I think you just about summed it up. It is difficult getting a really good defense through, and then especially, you know, to take that a step further, how do they react now? Obviously, it's still very early in the series, and a team like Trashcans, who's gone through some of these long games, is not really worried about that level of tilt. But at the same time, it's got to eat at you a little bit, or at least start to, if you know you have a defense that almost is a full hold there in such a big game. You start out so well, and then it falls apart, and you allow the map cap with time on the clock, no less. So we'll see how Trashcans responds. Again, a very solid team, so I'm not really worried about their ability to respond. Looks like it is going to be a quad tank with a wrecking ball coming out. I really hope they keep this comp. That looks like an interesting setup for the attack.
Oh, I feel like that does not have enough healing, personally, Sultan, to keep those tanks alive. I know that the 3-3 Zenyatta composition has become very popular in the pro scene, at least from what I've seen. So maybe we're going to see one of those tanks switching off here, but personally, I don't think you're going to be able to keep 4 tanks alive with the Lucio and a Zenyatta. That's a big ask.
You know, you do bring up a valid point. You think about Ryukin and Tragic being such mobile tanks. How do you stay as tight to the Lucio as you need to go? But exactly right. Yeah, going to traditional goes with Ryukin there over on the Makita. It's a nice kind of reserved defense, but I think Trashcans may meet it immediately, or at least attempt to. I like the high ground here from Kinetix and just avoiding sacrificing any space here to the attackers. But they do kind of, I wouldn't say really bait them, but they're able to get the fence down a little bit and drop down a point. Like we saw Trashcans 2 Kinetix pivoting back around, and we'll meet them on the underneath section. Nothing really going in the direction so far. You see Royal kind of pushing up, and I like, again, the space that the tank line plus Brigida is creating here for the attacker. Seems like it's going well, and Kinetix giving up a lot.
Kinetix is giving up a lot here, and you saw that Lucio just speed boost them right into this fight, but now things slowly starting to turn around here for Kinetix. Can they get the kills, the Trashcans? Can they get the kills that they need to turn this around? They're close to it. This is a nasty composition, Sultan. It really is, and I think it's kind of underrated. This idea that Zenyatta doesn't fit very well in a GOAT setup, but man, you can just shred, and they're demonstrating it right now. That Lucio speed boost into engage was just perfectly timed. It was exactly what they needed at that moment.
Well, and you're so just dependent on the target focus, right? And obviously Trashcans is a strong team and know how to focus those targets. That's where your team has to work with you in order for Zen to be viable here, and that's exactly what's happening. You see the space again created by this tank line of the attackers. They know when to pull back, they know when to re-engage, and they cap that first point with so much time on the clock. Kinetix coming back to engage them, but the ultimate's going the way of the attackers. Here comes Gravitons from both sides. The Dragons right here from the defense. Awful reflexes will catch Royal Killer. Yeah, but that grab maybe a little bit wasted here from Trashcans. Kinetix actually will wrap this up immediately. That could have gone way south for Kinetix here, but they were able to weather the storm of the initial Graviton, respond with their own. They invested some ultimates, but, look at this, just all the way back to spawn.
Yeah, Tragic was desperately trying to get back into spawn there, didn't quite make it, was brought down just outside the door. That was a very effective investment of those two ultimates there from Kinetix to really turn the tide a little bit. But again, this composition is going to come back into him, and I would not abandon this if I was the Trashcans right now. And they're not going to. Royal Killer's just going to lead the charge straight on to the point. The point continuing to push forward. And once again, when it's not this Grab Dragons combo, we're playing a bit offish here. Kinetix, they'll pop Rally to boost the team, so maybe they're just going to wait that out before they engage. They got the hammer down in her. Diva Bomb flies in. Another Dragons across the point, but it is not as productive as Diva Bomb ultimately. And on the fight again, kind of spilling all over the place, but still, this payload just moving forward. The Trashcans just marching it in, and finally Dazzle jumps on to just contest. But the majority of his teammates are dead, and Dazzle probably not long for this world either, despite his good effort to be the best contestio he can. And they'll just pick this up. Wow, Sultan, that was an impressive team fight. That was well executed.
Impressive nonetheless. Dizzy doing everything he can to get out of the way as he has that short respawn. And Trashcans trying to take full advantage and pressure a little bit, but it will be that Reinhardt escaping to the safety of the supports and retreating. But, man, what a round there. Trashcans did a really good job of zoning out the attacks. They completely eliminated Dizzy as a threat by using Tragic Event to kind of body block him into a corner. And just without the protection there, the defense kind of just fell like dominoes. So Trashcans, again, is very aggressive attack, and again, it's just standard goats, but it just seems to be working out really well. There comes a Shatter Bow. Yeah,
there's the grab. Is there a Dragons to follow it up? Yes, there is. Coalescence as well, but a huge
what a god, Trans! Oh my god.
Headrammer kept his team up through all that damage, only to see Royal Killer go down right thereafter, but the grab comes in, and now it's a bunch of kills coming the way here of Trashcans, and they're going to push them right back into the spawn. And if they can just clear this payload, they'll get a ton of distance out of this. And the Trashcans, with 4 minutes on the clock, looking absolutely spectacular as they push through here, Sultan.
That was an amazing trans just to save the team from Headrammer. Just an incredible response there. Obviously, they were able to weather the shatter, come back with a grab of their own. There's the Dragons, and then the Transcendence to save them. Trashcans continue to push. We've got all the reflexes on the Wrecking Ball behind them, which causes some problems, but the kill feed still going completely blue here for Trashcans. There's a desperate Graviton to keep them in the corner, but again, no one to really contest, no one to follow up on the kills. They're coming back from the spawn as quickly as possible, but that's not going to do it. Trashcans with a dominant performance in round 2 and respond to Kinetix in watch point.
Ah, good lord, Sultan, but they looked good on that push. They knew what they were doing. The ult combinations were excellent. And I mean, that, support players, they get a lot of credit. Zenyatta's often credited for, fragging out and getting a bunch of kills, especially in that 3-3 composition. But man, what a perfectly timed Transcendence that was. Effectively countering 3 ultimates from the enemy team, because there was a Coalescence chucked in there as well, on top of that Dragons with the grab. And he canceled them all out with 1 ultimate. I mean, it's perfect. It's exactly what you want to see as a Zenyatta player. That is the exact Transcendence usage you want. It was excellent.
We'll get the opportunity to use it. You're exactly right. Zen kind of falling by the wayside a little bit, but it was just spectacular Transcendence, and we get to see it again. The shadow comes through, doesn't quite connect, so things not looking good here for Trashcans. But then the Graviton, the Transcendence just to avoid all the damage, and just impressive. Just impressive again from him.
I mean, just
game saving.
Yeah, just from an ult economy perspective too. I mean, it was really great. I mean, was it game saving? I don't know. They had a pretty good time bank coming in there, but it certainly made it a lot easier. And I mean, you look at the difference between these 2 time banks, and it is significant. Kinetix this is a big hill to climb if they want to make it out of this first map with a win.
I think you're right. Probably fight saving, perhaps, but game saving. You're exactly right. Trashcans with a lot of time here. Kinetix coming out to attack less than 60 seconds. We expect an aggressive response. Awful here on the Sombra. I think this is a good pick. Obviously, they didn't run the Sombra in the first round, so maybe a little unexpected here for Trashcans. We'll see how they play this. Headrammer immediately and awful reflexes. Sights. Maybe doesn't get the hack off, though. Has to retreat to the translocator, but I don't know if they know it's over here on the inside Mega. So Awful will still have a positional advantage as the fight starts to break out, though. Underneath, Ryukin in the mix, being hacked a little bit, trying to swing away. Sombra gets away, and Awful reflexes and Kinetix getting a few kills early to continue pushing this payload as we're now under 30 seconds for it.
And the Trashcans are just kind of split up right now. They're backing into this corner to get a regroup so they can get the Lucio and the Zenyatta back in. And up in the air, this Pharmacy has just been raining havoc down on them. Mueller forward with Minty just attached to him at the hip, and there's no stopping it too. Finally, though, Minty will go down. Caster cursed it just a little bit right there by saying there was no stopping it. This might be the opportunity here for Trashcans to turn it around, but no, the barrage comes in from Daniela Ford. He gets two. It's big. It's exactly what they need. Trigo will then finish off the Zenyatta, and it's desperate straits here for the Trashcans if they want to hold on to this long enough to get their supports back. No, the EMP is committed to this as well. So playing like they know that the map is on the line right now, Kinetix just throws whatever they have into this, and they'll take this first point.
Yeah, completely fine with the EMP usage there. Obviously, you got to throw everything if you think every fight can be your last, especially in overtime here. So Kinetix doing everything they can. They've still got some ultimates to spare, including a Coalescence and a Graviton. So still sitting in a good spot, but ultimate building for the defense as well. They've got Sound Barrier on the way, Royal Killer 5% from the Shatter, Tragic Event very close to a Diva Bomb, and they've got a grab of their own. So this could come down to a midsection fight. Kinetix, I would say on paper, probably not favored to win this, but it looks good so far. They've got a Valkyrie on the way of their own, and the more space Trashcans gives them, the more likely it is that they'll be able to come through with Cap B.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Headrammer was sticking on Zenyatta now that Ryukin has actually switched off. A good Sound Barrier coming in there, a counter grab thrown, and only gets Dizzy Whitelaw to keep things up, and he's pinned and taken out of it, but still a lot of red in the kill feed. Things could go either way right now, though. Coalescence coming in combined with the Valkyrie, just hunting for kills right now, anything to keep this payload moving forward. Tac Visor, I think, is out by Ryukin. I didn't hear the noise of it go, but he's trying to hunt down the Pharmacy, and he will not succeed. So they're going to take second point here and overtime too. And the Trashcans need to develop something to stop this. They're getting absolutely rolled backwards, and maybe it's the double hit scan comp that they've switched to now that will be the key.
Yeah, they're going to run into some issues. The problem was Royal Killer used that shadow, I think, a little late in that fight, and didn't get a lot of use out of it. So again, Kinetix continue to push. They're still in overtime. But how many times have we seen this before in these type of payload maps? Right, though, Evan Vasquez switching over to the Widow could be helpful, but I think the shield from Royal Killer plus just the from Dizzy Whitelaw rather could be an issue, and it'll be hard to maintain that high ground with Daniel Orford here on the Widow. It's already kind of going to work here a little bit. So now the Tactical Visor though coming out from Ryukin looking for anything. Can't quite find it yet. Daniel Orford in a tough spot. Does drop to the Tac Visor. Here's the EMP from Alpha Reflexes right before dropping, but now it's two members down here for Kinetix. The fight's still on the point, getting pushed off a little bit overtime. It drops though. Yeah, I thought Dazzle was close, but a nice pin there from Royal Killer just to kind of separate the team a little bit. But still, what a push there in round 3 for Kinetix.
Yeah, it was an excellent push. I mean, when you get two pickups in overtime like that, when you started off with only a minute, you can't complain. It was a good play, too, by the Trashcans to finally shut it down. Evan Vasquez kind of drew out the Pharmacy a little bit, which set up the Tac Visor there, and it nearly got canceled, actually. Sombra was in for the hack, and it just didn't go off. I think he might have just gotten one shot on there to interrupt, which allowed him to pick off the Pharah, and then Royal Killer actually did a great job just kind of charging the tanks away and knocking them back. I mean, as you know, Saul, when you're so deep into overtime like that, it only takes the briefest of moments when somebody's not on the payload to just end your push. And so, sometimes in those defensive situations, all you got to do is just do a little battlefield control and move some people around, and that's how you get the pickup.
Again, a strong push, 5-3 now. A lot of time, though, for Trashcans, and we saw how aggressive their attack can be in round 2. So you expect they'll use this full 3 minutes and 59 seconds to kind of control the map. A strong push from them. They falling maybe a little bit into the trap of Pirate Ship, but again, Pirate Ship isn't necessarily bad. It's when you commit to it for too long, and you if it doesn't end up working out. We'll see how well Kinetix respond to it. Oh, they do switch off. Alright. I like that, right? You can actually decide to go Brigitte instead of that's much smarter to go with some traditional goats.
Yeah.
Orford over to the Roadhog.
There was a little bit of scouting there too, I think. Actually, it might have been responsible for the switch. and they're just boiling around here on the point, but the initial kills already going in favor of the Trashcans. A lot of big bodies in these two compositions right now. Both sides, I think, running the 3-3, but not mirror 3-3s. There are some differences, and it looks like, for all intents and purposes, Trashcan's 3-3 is the superior one, at least this far in.
And Corbin, what do you think about that kind of more aggressive defense from Kinetix than we saw in previous rounds? They kind of, I don't know why they engaged the door. Maybe because they knew they could take a second fight before the checkpoint. I'm not sure, but it just, I don't know. Usually we see a much later defense. Interested to see why they would have pushed that so early on.
I mean, I think it was a bit of a desperation maneuver as well, Sultan. You realize that there's a big time bank. You think maybe you can just win that first fight and slow it down. You have the 3-3 comp, but oh, it's a big hammer down coming in now, and Dazzle will actually get pinned into the wall. So already this fight, both Lucio's out now, but already this fight definitely looking the way of Trashcans. You just see mostly Daniel Ford trying to contest this. Awful Reflexes jumping on as well. But yeah, I think it was a bit of a desperation play, and it was a bit misjudged too. They could have waited and probably engaged when they were under the bridge, but with a 3-3 composition, I feel it almost sort of psychologically behooves you to get in there and just start the fight.
I can see that. Raleigh now coming out here from Ryuk, and it's a coalescence, though, from Minty the other direction. Tragic is the first pick as Dizzy Whitelaw dropped, and that's big here for the attackers. Trashcan's looking very solid. They kept that point with 2 minutes and I think 40 seconds or so. So still over 2 minutes. They're already starting to win the fight, but getting a couple of kills they need. And you see the silhouettes here from Kinetix not really unified as they try and keep coming back to spawn. And yeah, again, Trashcans are just, it just seems like a walk in the park, so to speak. Not a lot of resistance here from the defenders. As the bomb comes in from Alpha Reflexes over the top, can't quite find anything. It's double gravitons and a sound barrier. Support ultimates all over the place from everybody, but no one dropping just yet. Royal finally finding a little bit of progress, though, finding Dazzle. But now its kills really going either direction. It's even 4v4 right?
Absolute ult bonanza there. Everybody throwing whatever they had into the pot and just seeing what stuck. And in the end, I do think it's worked out here in favor of Kinetix. They've actually switched Daniel Ford off onto this Reaper to just get a little bit more damage in there. So it's Minty and Dazzle now just doing the healing for their Ford teammates. Meanwhile, this 3-3 still running here. And I'm kind of wondering, Sultan, should Headrammer switch back to the Zenyatta at this point in time and run that? I mean, that was brutally effective on their attack.
Effective indeed. Yeah, the focus fire, I think, that Trashcans utilized, it did allow them to be a little bit more aggressive, but got Daniel Orford here already, like you mentioned, making the switch over to Reaper. It seems like it's panning out, and he's got a Death Blossom, just waiting for an opportunity to use it. Bot's coming over the top. There's the combination. There's a Graviton. Got a Death Blossom. Finds one, finds two. There's three for Daniel Orford. Kill feed lighting up for Kinetix. Oh, it's got to be a team kill. Minty with the Coalescence over the top. Oh, man. Was it an overinvestment? Not sure, but Kinetix, though. Oh, what the combination from them. Really solid switch. I like
the Gong of Doom.
The Gong of Doom.
Somewhere, Jeff Kaplan just stands up from his desk and rings the gong, and that's how you know that the team fight is over.
It's his sixth
They've all been wiped out.
Just knows. Oh, yeah, no ultimates on the board. Evan Vasquez close here for the attackers. Trashcans close to a Graviton. Sparks the next closest Ryukin right in the mix as well, but things already building for Kinetix, the defenders. Dizzy with the Shatter and tries to use it, but I think he actually went directly into a shield. I don't know if they got effect from that. There's the Graviton, a sound barrier as well. Bomb coming in the other direction from Awful Reflexes and finds Evan Vasquez. Ooh, now just under 10 seconds. Things looking much better for Kinetix, and Trashcans haven't quite been able to push this midsection. Kills going their way though, and they might be able to cap this here in overtime, but it's getting very, very close.
Yeah, and they will. I think they will get the second point, but there's no second chances now. Every team fight is going to matter amazingly, and all they're going to have to do, Kinetix, if they want to come out on top of this, is just knock them off the payload for half a second. So we're going to have to see the Trashcans play super tight if they want to get this here. And just hats off to Kinetix, by the way, for burning through that entire time bank. An excellent second stage. Just defense. The dueling Doomfist up there on the high ground, trading a little bit of long-range shotgun fire.
I was about to mention Evan switching over to Doomfist. Could be interesting off of over there as well. Oh, I mean, you're exactly right, though. Just overtime. Now Danny Orford coming back down with another Death Blossom. Finds both supports. That's huge here for Kinetix. Dizzy getting killed. Royal trying to answer one back. The overtime meter begging to drop as soon as Trashcans loses representation. Evan Vasquez the only one left. They're trying to focus him down, but he's just too evasive. Dizzy Whitelaw swing away. Finally does. Overtime meter drops, and that is it. Right on the line. Kinetix taking the first map.
Wow, well, what a play right there. They took it. That was a huge uphill battle for Kinetix to come out of there and pick that up, and they did it. I mean, all credit to them. An excellent second stage hold there on Gibraltar to get them through that. That was spectacularly done.
Yeah, masterclass here from Kinetix on the midsection, just try and delay that time bank, just eat it all the way down, and then, yeah, they did concede the B checkpoint, but then hold it there at the end. Really solid performance. Trashcan supports get in the mix, but yeah, just Kinetix, really impressive from them. And yeah, we move on to Volskaya. We'll be right back with the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Finals. We'll be back. And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Championship between Kinetix and Trashcans, the 1 and 2 seed, and already this game living up to every expectation. Kinetix, after a nice multi-round watch point map, took it 6-5, and now up 1-0 in the series against Trashcans, who I think may be a bit of the favorites coming in. Very strong team throughout the season. Obviously, both teams coming in 6 and 2, but yeah, Trashcan's able to get the head-to-head early in the season. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Corbic, and again, this game just too exciting. Corbic, what were your takeaways from that original, or just that first map on Watchpoint?
I mean, it was a great map. It's exactly what we expected these teams to deliver to us in terms of just performance. And Kinetix has to be flying high right now because that was some do or die stuff on that defense. And I have to say, like, if I was the Trashcans right now, I would be a little bit worried about just sort of getting a little lost in the weeds because I don't think they came into this game expecting that they were going to lose map one, especially when they were going into their attack with so much in the time bank. And I think a lot of what we see on this next map is just going to be Trashcans trying to settle into some sort of rhythm, maybe running that 3-3 composition that worked for them so well before. I really enjoyed watching the 3-3 with the Zenyatta. I thought that was a very effective composition, and they were running it very, very well. So I would not be surprised if we saw that at all to start us off here on Volskaya.
Yeah, with the team swapping sides, that could make it pretty interesting. I think, again, Trashcan's in a good position to respond well here. I think a little bit shell-shocked by that initial loss, so we'll see how they come back. Again, this game, however, or this map, the one that Kinetix won in their Week 5 matchup, they won Volskaya, they went on to lose all in Rialto. Trashcan's taking those maps. So, yeah, again, a lot... And I don't know if you can really use that as maybe an indication, but at least Kinetix go in with the confidence of knowing they have won this map before.
And there's a substitute coming in now as well. Kinetix has brought in their player who was running a little bit late. That's Neon Blue Rain. Minty is out and now spectating, I assume, for the blue team. So he's good. He's going to watch this from the sidelines. And we know that Neon Blue Rain is also a very good player in general. So it'll be interesting to see how he maybe changes the mix. Does it make Kinetix a stronger squad? And it might very well make them a stronger team. I know that there's a lot of hate, too, just in the general community. I don't want to say hate, but not a lot of people are big fans of sort of the 3-3 composition, but it's really interesting to watch from their perspective that 3-3 feels like such a micromanaging composition. There's so much that has to go perfectly right in order to make it as effective as possible. Everybody needs to be on the same page. You need to know when everybody's going to use their abilities and in what way they're going to use them to enable everybody else. And in that sense, from a technical perspective, I think it's a little bit more interesting than dive could be, though I will admit there are sometimes that I do miss dive on occasion.
I go to echo that a little bit. As much as Goats is kind of coming to the fold, I do miss dive because it was such like a lightning fast play style, and I like those really quick team fights and just the quick engagement both from the pro tiers, but even in CGL seeing teams really work on their dive and execute it to near perfection. It was just a lot of fun to watch, and as much as dive was so frustrating and then kind of Brigitte heralded the beginning of a new era almost, so to speak, yeah, I do wish that had a little bit more dive.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel though that just as a whole, and I know that I've seen some pro analysts and casters echo similar sentiments, I do feel as a whole the meta is in a very, very good place right now in terms of there being a lot of different comps and a lot of different heroes that can be run. I think there was even a Symmetra played at the World Cup, if I remember correctly. The World Cup finals saw at least one Symmetra pick. So, and I saw a Symmetra in one of my games that I was casting yesterday in one of the higher tier matches, used really, really well. So for me, it's a really exciting time to be casting Overwatch and watching Overwatch, and I really look forward to the second Volskaya map. I know there's some history between these two teams here, so we'll see how they want to work this one out as they sort of set their starting lineups at least.
Yeah, speaking of which, coming in for the attackers, it's Ryukin on the Brigitte, Jeff Vasquez goes Sombra, Tragic Event, Royal Killer back on those tanks, Tragic, or rather Zarya and Reinhardt respectively, Sparks and Headrammer on the Lucio Ana combo. For the defenders, Neon Blue Rain also going Sombra. That'll be interesting, but all for reflexes and Dane Horford up with the Pharmacy combo. Dizzy White Trigo on the ground. Ryan Zarya Dazzle off the Lucio now to the Brigitte, but immediately Neon Blue Rain able to get a pick on the support. Headrammer, Dizzy White on a tough spot, drops to Evan Vasquez. So now a 5v5 here. Dane Horford able to get the res for the defenders, and but then Swap pays for it. Things really going the way of Trashcans early on.
Yeah, Trashcans is lucky actually that they're pulling this out right now as Dizzy Whitelaw gets smashed down because they really came out with a composition on the defense that they thought that was going to stop Goats 100%, and they got the early pick that they wanted to see by pulling Headrammer out of it right away with just no support in the backline there on the Ana. But they weren't really able to capitalize on that major source of healing in this composition being out of it. And this Pharmacy, though, I think Sultan is going to prove to be kind of a thorn in their side, as they're not even going to hesitate to engage here. Royal Killer dropping straight on the point. The barrage coming out from behind gets hardly anyone, and somehow Awful Reflexes is kept alive through that by the combination of heals and a bubble. And now Rally is popped on point. The Trashcans just barreling forward, and Dizzy Whitelaw is in their sights. Trigo desperately trying to keep his teammate up at this stage, but he will not succeed. However, the kills coming in on the outside, I think I saw a little bit of Battle Mercy action there, but still, the Trashcans with the superior kill feed and the superior positioning here might just be able to pull this out on a hyper-aggressive attack, and it does look like, at least for now, they will have established point presence.
Wow,
and that's going to tick up.
Not quite job done, maybe, because we'll see a contest come back in, but what a lightning fast attack here from Trashcans. Completely responding well to the loss on watch point. Tragic event here with a completely full charge on Zarya. The defensive Graviton comes out, but it's a sound barrier to counter. 15 kill streak here for this Zarya. Ultimate still coming out for the defenders, but it's already almost 2 ticks gone for the attack Trashcans. Dazzle getting melted via the beam. Tragic, still plus 90 cap. 5 minutes and 52 seconds. It's a desperate Rocket Barrage comes through from reflexes, but wow, almost 6 minutes on the clock for Trashcans to come out on this Volskaya attack.
Oh, and what an attack that was. They didn't even waste any time to engage. There was no poke phase there. They blazed right onto the second point of Volskaya. They popped the rally exactly when they needed to keep the team up. And Kinetix was kind of struggling a little bit there, and you could tell that they were trying to formulate an effective defense. The Graviton that was thrown out by Trigo was huge. I mean, he got so many members of the other team in it. And the EMP was chucked in at the same time, but I don't really feel like that there was a lot of follow-up, and it does look like someone has disconnected from one of the teams, so I think we're going to have to take a quick pause here to work them back into this. And it is unfortunately a tragic event from the Trashcans, who has left the building. He was just too excited. Too excited with that time bank on Volskaya, 5 minutes and 50 seconds. And yeah, a lightning fast raid here in Russia is what we just saw, and Kinetix is going to have to go to the drawing board a little bit and think about this and how they want to defend against that attacking comp on future maps, because I don't think that's the last we've seen of that setup at all.
Yeah, it was a really effective performance here by Trashcans, and I think that it kind of got kicked off by, they had the awful reflexes, I believe, Barrage coming through. They used it a la carte, but was completely stunned out of it quickly by Ryukin on the Brigitte, and it kind of fell apart from there. As soon as they got that pick, they were able to come back through. They get one on the defense, and then the attack comes out, the Graviton, like you mentioned. So, again, I think maybe Kinetix a little over-exuberant in that counter, and kind of got punished for it to some extent. Obviously, a huge time bank here for Trashcans after having dropped that first map. So, looking to respond on Volskaya, they're off to a really good start.
They are indeed off to a good start, and, you know, again, though, in all fairness to Kinetix, we have seen the Trashcans get off to a relatively good start on the last map, and then Kinetix managed to turn it around, and not only did they turn it around, but as the Trashcans continued with their good start, they managed to come back and win. So it's definitely not they're not done here by any means on Kinetix side, but when you're staring down the barrel of a 5 minute 51 second time bank, that is a big, again, another uphill battle for Kinetix right at the beginning of the fight. That is a bit rough, I will have to say. That's not what you want to see, is it?
No, it's not, especially when you think about these 2CPs or assault maps and how difficult it can be to just maintain that defense. Obviously, kind of set up so that the HF point can be taken very quickly. And Trashcans, again, like we said, taking full advantage and capping that second time bank. But really, the surprise does come from capping B so quickly. We'll see what the response is. Obviously, Daniel Orford coming out on the Ana. We may see a little bit more Ana with how prevalently Trashcans have been running this GOATs. I think Neon Blue Rain will be an addition. We haven't gotten to see him in an attacking capacity, so the second round will be very telling. I think a good indication of maybe the rest of the series. Again, Kinetix up 1 from watch point. They go into, you win 2 difficult maps, quote unquote, in a escort and then a 2CP, and you go into a control point map. Things start to look a lot better. Those control points can be a little bit dicey, but Trashcan's still looking for a foothold back into this game.
Yeah, and it is worth pointing out to you that a lot of times on these 2CP maps, things just do go the way that we just saw with Trashcans. It's not so much a prolonged fight. It turns into a really quick, just like lightning capture of the two. And then sometimes, of course, you get bogged down and you waste 7 minutes of your life trying to cap point 2 or whatever it may be. But I think that all things considered, we're going to have to see Kinetix come out with something sort of unexpected on the attack. They haven't been favoring the 3-3 composition, which is totally within their rights. They were kind of playing, what was it, like the 3-2-1 with somebody on the defense. And Neon Blue Rain did actually make an impact at the very beginning. The first thing that happened in the fight was that he got the pick on the Ana, which is exactly who you wanted the Sombra to take out in that fight. But now we're going to need to see him kind of like shoulder a little bit more DPS weight. And to a certain extent, we didn't really even get to see him much on display because the last map went so quickly, or the last attack went so quickly, that there was really no time for any of the Kinetix players to really establish a presence anywhere on the battlefield. Looks like we're still waiting for this reconnect here.
Problem is
We
have
do
hit
have
the
a
3 minute
timer
pause,
for
however.
disconnects.
Yeah, we have hit the 3 minutes.
We
so
just hit it, yeah.
Got to restart the pause here.
Oh, I
so
think they can. Will
they
we get a
can-
sub in though? I do believe that Lucibro could come in at this stage, because we are in between rounds. Is that correct?
That is correct. They can make a sub between rounds for DC if the player hasn't joined after 3 minutes. If you want to check that, consolegamingleague.com/rules.
Attackers incoming.
Go and read it. Sure enough, because boy, it's some reading. It's very well put together, actually. In all fairness, there are a lot of rules covered, a lot of situations. But you know, the funny thing about rules, Salton, is I feel like no matter how comprehensive your rule set is, be it for a game or a sport or anything, there always is inevitably situations where the rules like don't quite cover everything, and you have to go scrambling for a rule book. Like, how many times in life have you had to deal with that?
Well, you know, you think about
So
season 1, our rule set was like 10 rules long, and every season other things come up we have to add, and now it's like 3 pages. So just things get added. Kinetix coming out quickly on their attack. I like Alpha Reflexes switching over to the Tracer is going to be a good kind of cleanup addition for them. But Ryukin immediately on the Widow for the defenders getting a pick. Evan Vasquez has another. Neon's able to get a little bit back, but it's already a 5v4 for the defenders here. I like Dizzy Whitelaw with a quick pin. Now maybe evening it up a little bit. They have a shorter respawn, but I think most of Kinetix has already retreated. I like the aggressive response from Trashcans after they got a first couple picks, but Dizzy able to kind of level the playing field, and Trashcans can go to retreat.
Most of Kinetix, though, Neon Blue Rain, I think, at least was, and I don't know where he shifted off to, is deep in behind enemy lines right now, running his own little 776 commando mission. Awful Reflexes is up with him on the top, and they're going to engage on point. Dizzy Whitelaw wasting no time in getting in. The DPS actually having divested the Widowmaker off the high ground. Neon Blue Rain is now going to set up down there as well. Awful Reflexes dropping in behind the lines, pumping damage into the back of Royal Killer, and Dizzy Whitelaw has everybody where he wants them, trapped in a tiny little room with one really big Reinhardt hammer, and he's just going to barrel through them all over the kill feed, and there's no escaping that angry football Reinhardt's trophy hammer weapon. I don't even know what we want to call that, but it looks like it hurts when it hits you. We will say that.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And Dizzy just able to get a couple kills here. Hack didn't matter anyway. Just driving straight through, swinging big, and I think getting 4 kills in the sequence. Sombra running the Fire Strike, both supports, yeah, and nice response from Kinetix, able to cap that point quickly. Now it's the defender Trashcans trying to set up as the rest of the attack comes back in. Dizzy Whitelaw here with a shout and Awful Reflexes with a pulse. No offense though for the defenders. Royal Killer close, but now Headrammer now does have a coalescence. Awful Reflexes looking for a chance to use this pulse bomb, but hasn't quite found one yet.
You can tell Dizzy is hungry here. He wants to get out on the action. Trigo kind of initiating will give Dizzy the opportunity I think he needs to finally get committed. There comes the bubble, and the Reinhardt's now clashing just a little bit in the middle. But this poke phase really extended, but that might be the pick they were looking for. And Awful Reflexes actually gets 2. With a little bit of help there from Dizzy Whitelaw and Trigo, you get 2, and they'll push right onto the point. The grab is thrown in. It's big. They get 2 picks out of that as well. I'm Lucibro held on the outside, and there's really nothing they can do. And we're looking at a count that was almost as quick as the one we just saw the Trashcans do. Diva Bomb, I think, maybe being unleashed. No, it was all one giant debate. Awful Reflexes there.
My gosh.
Just finished off. Oh, and you have to feel for Sparks jumping in with the sound barrier to just try and keep things alive, and just no luck there at all. What a fast cap on the other side.
Well, now we've got a game 31 seconds, but you don't expect that kind of gap with both teams having above 5 minutes. Just lightning fast here from Kinetix, and yeah, the swap coming in, Lucibro maybe affecting Trashcans a little negatively. They didn't quite have the chemistry available right off the bat. Not sure, but all credit to Kinetix for coming and responding so strongly, and just, yeah, really impressive here. for them to just cap a point with about 5 minutes. I didn't expect that at all whatsoever.
Indeed, and to kind of be honest, like it's not really a defensive matchup, is it? This is more of a shootout by the looks of it. And I mean, whichever team though, I'm fine with it as well. I mean, it's good to see these fast caps, these sort of lightning rounds as they were. But whichever team I think kind of figures out the formula for a good defense here might be able to put a brakes on the offense a little bit. And you can see they're kind of tinkering with it right now on behalf of the Trashcans. Evan Vasquez playing a May, and then Ryukin switching over to that McCree. And admittedly, I don't know if you saw earlier in the match, Sultan, when Ryukin was playing McCree, but I feel like he wasn't having the most success on the character. He was in the kill feed an awful lot, but not in the way you really want to be when you're playing McCree. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, there is the difference between kill collecting and then target focus, and I feel like that may have been it. Trashcan's been an interesting defense here, sitting further back and kind of baiting Kinetix on the point, but coming out quickly, they've got a McCree of their own as Neon Blue Rain goes that direction. Awful reflexes back on Tracer, but it's a left side attack here from Kinetix, so they'll be able to see that defense on the right side from a mile away. Taking the fight early with Ryukin on the high ground, still the defenders here sitting, kind of engaged in the point, but Kinetix know they have the time to take this slowly. Not a lot yet. Ryukin very low here on the McCree, and as soon awful reflexes gets the better of him. You expect to engage there from Kinetix immediately. They drop down on the point and see if they can take this Dizzy Whitelaw into strike, but Royal Killer meets him with an even pin. They both drop. Now the fight breaking out to the point. Dizzy Whitelaw drops early, and this defense early on may be going the way of Trashcans.
Even as you say that, though, Sultan, 2 kills going the way of the Kinetix team, and they're going to add a little bit more damage to that as well. Daniel Ford not getting brought down, and they will take this. But I mean, there are some, there's a pattern here to be figured out if you're Trashcans, and you'll see almost immediately every single time they engage almost solely off awful reflexes getting a pick somewhere in the back line. I feel like that's the only way we've seen them engage, and Ryukin now is actually switching over to play Hog of all things, so turning this into a triple tank composition with the only DPS a May. As again, awful reflexes trying to get into the back line. They want to engage off of one of those picks. High Noon coming out now. I think that was just to zone. I'm not really sure. Neon Blue Rain was walled off there by the May, so that kind of cut the effectiveness of it. The bomb does come in from awful reflexes. It gets no one. A good fade out there will keep Headrammer alive, and now 3 ultimates in the bank. Shatters going in on both sides. The Ana Nano Boost is committed here as well. Headrammer committing the Coalescence. Dizzy Whitelaw in deep trouble here in the backline. I think will be brought down, and Neon Blue Rain might have managed to finish off the Reinhardt, but I don't think that's going to be enough for them to turn this around. And no, it's not. Ryukin actually will just finish off Daniel Ford right there at the end to just put sort of a bow on that gift of a near team kill that they gave to Kinetix.
I think ultimately just kind of an odd push. They took it way too slowly. You're right. They were kind of banking on the pick by Alpha Reflexes. He got some damage through. The pulse bomb didn't stick, and then things kind of went bottoms up for them. So they didn't get to engage as concisely as they wanted to. Ryukin switching over to the Roadhog could be a huge help here for the defenders to try and belay a little bit of the outside heroes. Doing just that, getting a good hook from the high ground of Neon Blue Rain and engaging quickly. Here come Trashcans to turn the screw on the defenders, and getting another pick. Ryukin, a nice switch over to Roadhog, and Kinetix should have to retreat. They'll maybe live to fight another day, but triple here for this Roadhog.
They'll live to fight another day, but boy, that's got to be a little bit shocking. And don't anyone tell Ryukin, by the way, that Roadhog is no longer a meta hero, because he is absolutely popping off on that character right now. He got exactly the pick they wanted from him. He found the slow-moving DPS in McCree, dragged him in, he finished him off. He helped them keep Neon Blue Rain in, and he got the stun in on Trigo, too, when they had him pushed up against the cart. So playing really well on this Roadhog, just being as disruptive as possible. It's exactly what you want to see. And now Awful Reflexes looking to engage again, and you'll notice, Sultan, that both teams have a huge ultimate bank here, and are going to look to use them. But again, Ryukin with a pick on Awful Reflexes, Royal Killer in the action as well, and they're going to push out once more with a little bit of assistance from Sparks on this Lucio, just giving them the speed boost they need to close. And once again, it does look as if Kinetix has been pushed right out the door, but they're about to be sitting on almost 6 ultimates.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing from Trashcans. They didn't have to invest a lot at all for that. Ryukin used the Whole Hog late, was slept out of it, so it wasn't even really an ult they were able to take advantage of. But now we've got 11 ults on the board between both teams, and this next fight is going to come down to who can be more economical. I think it's going to be easy to get carried away and just kind of pop ultimates, but we'll see who has the most coming out of this. Immediately a graviton right off the bat from the defenders. There's a blizzard as well. I like the combo here. Royal Killer going in is bioed, but yeah, all the kills go the way of Trashcans. I think there you go. Using 2 ultimates, completely wiped. None used though by Kinetix. So was it a junk push or did they just get caught out early?
I mean, I think that, in my opinion, maybe didn't start out as an intentional junk push, but when that initial grab came in, it was very effective. It got all of them in it, and then the blizzard as well. I think probably, yeah, it was decided that was going to be a junk push. Almost decided for them in a lot of ways. They still had plenty of time to reset. Now they're sitting on 6 ultimates to 3, so the advantage definitely in their favor. But again, Ryukin gets awful reflexes on the outside. Awful reflexes, who they've been counting on to start every fight with a pick on one of the supports, is now being completely shut down in the backline by a Roadhog of all things. And Awful Reflexes is gonna maybe consider a switch after using this Pulse Bomb. I'm not really sure. They're using the Maywall to boost Royal Killer up onto the high ground. They're continuing to contest out here, and what is nothing if not a really elongated poke face? Oh no, there it is. Okay, ultimate's coming out now. Nano boost in. Whole Hog being used to try and zone out the ultimate. But Dizzy Whitelaw with the nano boost trying to do the best they can. High Noon thrown in as well. Sound Barrier as well. Every single ultimate coming out now from all teams. An absolute ult fiesta. And it does look like the advantage is sitting in Trashcan's favor as they're trying to finish off some of these kills, and they're getting them. And now it's just Dizzy Whitelaw and Awful Reflexes left alive. Mark that Dazzle, who does manage to finish off Royal Killer, then is immediately brought down, and that will signal the end. That's it.
Ooh, Awful Reflexes finally go to the back briefly, but you're exactly right. Finished up there, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head right before that final fight. Just complete. You saw how hamstrung Kinetix was in being so dependent on Awful Reflexes to get that early pick. The switch over to Roadhog from Ryukin eliminated that kind of a fleeting tracer, and as soon as they were able to end a couple of those initiations, kind of depending on the position, Kinetix were just overrun by the Trashcans' main advantage. So yeah, I don't know if they've started figuring out this team. I don't know if they need to change up their strategy a little bit, but Awful Reflexes getting picked early on in those last couple fights really just ate down that time bank, and it's a big reason why they didn't get a tick on B in this 3rd round.
And I mean, I think any analysts would tell you, or caster would tell you, coach, that going into that fight, that should have been Kinetix's fight to win. They had the significant ult advantage. They had twice as many ultimates on the board as were in Trashcan's pocket. And yet, despite that, they really weren't able to translate it into anything. And it was some good plays as well. Evan Vasquez put up a very good Maywall to just separate off the grab from a lot of the damage that was coming in from the team. But you feel, Sultan, like we should have seen more production from Kinetix right there. And Kinetix themselves have to know that. I mean, they have to feel that as well. So we'll see what they can muster on the defense here. But again, they're facing a significant uphill battle that they've kind of constructed for themselves. And it's not that they haven't achieved this before, but eventually, luck is going to run out, right? For lack of a better word.
Well, and foreshadowing to some extent, you bring up a very valid point that on paper they absolutely should have won that with the ultimate advantage. We saw the exact same thing in the Kinetix Communism semifinal from the other direction. Communism take the first map, then poor ultimate advantage. They cost them the second map on Oasis. They'd go on to lose that series. Do we see something similar here? How well does that affect the team? Dizzy Whitelaw, apparently not a lot. They will get the initial kill into Royal, and Kinetix will get the first team fight here. But we'll see if Kinetix can hold on to this. Obviously, they if they give up this A checkpoint, all they can rely on is a draw. So how does Trashcans respond here? We still have 5 minutes and 15 seconds, and we've seen how aggressively they can attack. So yeah, lots to play for again, but Kinetix are in for the defense of their lives here.
Yeah, and there's no wasting time here from the Trashcans. They are not holding out. They are engaging really quickly, trying to close in that May absolutely rapidly as possible. And I'm Lucy-Bro already getting the earlier pick. Dueling Coalescence is now being thrown across the point, focusing the same targets for either side, but now it's the majority of the Trashcans fighting it out here. The Diva forced out up onto the high ground, and there's really not a lot of body presence on the point. Ryukin getting a pick, but another pick going as well. Sound Barrier committed to this fight. The 2 Lucios dueling it out as the Diva Bomb flies over the middle, gets nothing, but a big hammer down is enabled kind of right in the middle of all this. And Ryukin again on this Roadhog. Don't tell him that Roadhog is not a good hero these days, because he will not be listening. He'll just be looking at the kill feed and feeling very proud of himself. And Neon Blue Rain caught by the hook there and brought down. Just really excellent play by Ryuken. Like, the whole team on the Trash Cans played that really well, but that man was everywhere on the kill feed on a hero who, admittedly, on paper, is not a good fit for the way things are going in Overwatch right now, and he is just killing it. He's doing so well.
Yeah, absolutely agreed. I would say also credit as well to, or a lot of credit to Royal Killer, who definitely get the shatter out. Ended up dying for his trouble, but got free in that shatter. Trash Cans immediately capitalized on the benefit and were able to take that point. Now with 4 minutes and 15 seconds, they only need a tick to dry up the series, and they're definitely capable. Here comes the sound barrier here to kind of keep them up. The attack Graviton plus the Blizzard. It's everything coming in here for Trash Cans. Not taking no for an answer. Kill Fiend light able to blue. Ryukin with his ultimate. The tick will come by quickly as soon as they're able to take down Daniel Orford. Not long for this world, as Corbett would say, and that is it. Trash Cans tying up the series 1-1.
Just bludgeoned their way onto the point, Trash Can. The exact same thing we saw in their attack. No hesitation to just smash their way on board and use every ultimate in their power to get the win there.
Yes, now we got a series 1-1. Each team with a win, we go onto a control point. Anything can happen. Man, just Kinetix played this well, but Trash Cans just edged them out. You're exactly right. It's just the aggressive, quick attack from Trash Cans. Not a lot of teams able to respond to an attack that is decisive as that one. But, man, Kinetix definitely within them to respond to that. And, like I said, all to play for here on the next control point. We'll be right back with the Rival Tier Finals from the Console Gaming League. And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Championship between the #1 seed Trash Cans and #2 Kinetix. Kinetix off to a strong start on Watchpoint Gibraltar, taking an early lead in the series, but Trash Cans leveling the playing field as we go into Ilios. Third round here. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Korbeck, and what a game we've had so far. I like what I'm seeing from both sides. Kinetix, definitely, they weren't dominating that last map by any means. How do you think they respond here on Ilios?
Well, I mean, it was a really good performance from the Trash Cans, and Kinetix, I think, probably feels a little bit put out right now. But I mean, if they can come back, and I think they can, they've come back from significant sort of mental disadvantage before. Let's not forget, on their first map win on Gibraltar, they shouldn't have won. They shouldn't have won that in a lot of respects, but they managed to pull it out. And Ilios, King of the Hill maps, in my opinion, Sultan, are just a great leveler in terms of teams. It's really where you get to see a lot of the skill come out because there's no sort of clever strategies. There's no clever setups in terms of where you position yourself to make it harder for the enemy team to divest you of the point. In a way, you're really just going at each other. And I've heard this echoed before at the pro level as well, that King of the Hill maps are the real test of skill in Overwatch. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they can produce here. Both the teams too, I would add, Sultan, favoring Lucio players. So hopefully we see some boops, the good old environmental kills.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Dazzle, a prominent Lucio player in the league, so looking for a couple of those boops. I kind of want to see a little bit of Awful Reflexes, Genji, or Neon Blue Rain over there as well. I know the Kinetix has some strong DPS players, and I think that in straight team fights, this does kind of advantage them a little bit. Ryukin, we saw play a really solid Roadhog, and a lot of potential for that as well. But yeah, just nothing to separate these two sides, and it's been a really good watch so far.
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like in general, at least from a personal opinion, I feel like the Trashcans have kind of had the edge. They've been putting up the higher numbers. They've been kind of putting together the more convincing attacks. But you can't sort of discount, and I think you said back on Gibraltar, the tenacity of Kinetix, just keeping things alive and keeping things going. And Ilios, you know, it's an interesting map because each stage to me feels relatively unique in terms of the kind of compositions that you want to run. I mean, you do not want to run the same composition you would on Well, probably on on Ruins. They're quite different maps, and the same goes for Lighthouse. I don't know what you expect to see here, Salton, but at least for me personally, I do expect the 3-3, the GOATs, to come back from Trashcans, and I expect Kinetix. We haven't really seen them answer with that yet. Do you think we'll see finally the 3-3 coming out from them?
Possibly. I mean, again, we see GOATs as such a strong competition for control points like this. Even in the European scene, we had the EU showcase, and both teams running almost identical GOATs on, I think, this exact map. So I think it's something that we can expect to see. You're right, we haven't seen Kinetix run that. They're kind of used to more of a 2-2-2. Way more traditional comp, but they may not have much of a choice with how strongly Trashcans look on the GOATs. But I think we are just about ready to go. Get you into Ilios without delay here for the third map. Again, all knotted up here, 1-1 for each. And man, it's been a good series so far.
It really has. I do love Ilios too as a map. Just personally, I think it's a great map. It's aesthetically pleasing. It's fun to watch, and some of the best sort of Pharah play comes out of Ilios, and obviously we mentioned it already, the Lucio play and whatnot. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, and we'll see what these two teams manage to pull out here. As we just take a look at that, I'm just taking a look at that cruise ship that's been out there for a while. Salt. They've been on, what is this now, 2 years?
Yeah.
You think they're getting tired? I'm surprised it hasn't run out of gas, to be fair.
Well, I think it just keeps going in circles. And
it just keeps going. Well, that sounds like the most boring cruise in the world, but maybe that's what you want if you're on the cruise ship. I'm not sure.
All that, or they considered a highly regular cruise line. That could just be a commuter cruise. You don't know.
It's highly irregular. They circled the island of Ilios every day, 24/7. Passengers just get a life preserver thrown to them, and they just drag them on board. That's how they keep going. Who knows? But so looking at the two comps, I don't.
Yeah, I actually wondered if we see a ferry here.
Yeah.
Almost. Well, you mentioned how different each of these maps are, and Ruin's no different. A lot of times you see a pharmacy come out, or perhaps a widow. It's going to be the latter for both these sides.
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually think this is a very good Pharah map. Personally, I know that some people do like to run Pharah here, but I usually see it. But both these teams are running very standard compositions to start us off here, Sultan. And the Widowmaker duel is something kind of exciting that we don't always get to see in CGL play. So we'll see who's the better of the two. As neither team looking to engage very quickly here. They're playing this very standoffishly. It does look like Royal Killer will be leading the charge on the point, backed up by the rest of his team, but Neon Blue Rain just takes the old Viking crew cut there on Evan Vasquez, and Headrammer 2 falls victim to some gunfire. Ryuken trying to even the odds here a little bit, but things definitely not in favor. Oh, Awful Reflexes popping off on the McCree gets 3 in the context of that fight, and they'll take this right out the bat. Kinetix, no hesitation there at all.
Yeah, like I'm seeing here, already Neon Blue Rain doing well on the Widow. Obviously got taken down by his opposite Ryuken, who opted out of the Widow battle entirely, now has switched over to a Genji. Evan Vasquez switching over the Widow duties. We'll see how that changes the shape of this Kinetix side, but Awful Reflexes on a McCree as well. Evan Vasquez, I think, switched off a May. So a nice change of shape here for Trashcans early on. Already 30% gone for Kinetix. The stun in from Awful Reflexes, looking to get an additional kill, but Evan Vasquez taking over those kill responsibilities, getting a quick pick onto his opposite Neon Blue Rain. Still the advantage going the way of Trashcans. Kinetix getting pushed back, but there's a shatter coming in from Dizzy Wylaw. Finds a couple. There's a bio in the other direction, plus the Daniel Orford Nano. And I think that Kinetix is still in a very good position to take this, though.
They did. They are in a good position to take the Salt, but I do not think that Dazzle was the target of choice for the right there. Not that anybody, I'm sure, in the audience doesn't appreciate a good bit of Boostio action.
Boostio.
But I do not think that was the individual that Nano Boost was intended for. Still, Dizzy Whitelaw doing an excellent job of just cleaning up here. Now the Trashcans coming back to engage again. To their credit, they are not getting slowed down. Despite getting ejected from this point twice. And they actually have the Zarya pinned in a corner. They need to try and finish her off before Trio can get back to the rest of the team. Grab comes in, the hammer is thrown down almost immediately thereafter. That'll clear some spaces, exactly what they needed at that stage. Sound Barrier committed now, a good purple in as well. Coalescence coming out from Headrammer, just looking to keep his fellow support alive, but no such luck. And again, Trashcans are just evicted from the ruins, and Headrammer, the last one left alive, just desperately trying to get back somewhere safe, will not make it. Alpha Reflexes will be there to pull him down, and despite the fact that Evan Vasquez gets that late pick on Alpha Reflexes, you can't help but feel Salt, and that was a pretty good fight there for Kinetix.
That's right, you can use the blade just to force the overtime. The shatter came from Dizzy Whitelaw, but caught nothing. Maybe could have saved it, but either way, the overtime meter starts to tick down. It's going to be a boot out from, I think Dazzle trying to get Royal Killer away, but here's the Graviton coming in from the red team. Finds two, but they can't still quite get the kills. Alpha Reflex is able to answer one back. Kinetix looking very good. Trashcans have not at all look threatening, and they will lose the first round. Kinetix coming out very strongly on Ilios, 100-0.
Yeah, and for all intents and purposes, really just the Trashcans looked outclassed that entire time, despite some early sort of, they winning the Widowmaker duel for what it was worth, but there was no real answer to the fights that were happening on the point. It was almost like their DPS were so drawn off trying to eliminate the Widowmaker that they weren't backing up the rest of the team when push came to shove, and that was rough for Trashcans. So they're going to have to look to sort of wrench this back around here on, well, the infamous black hole of doom right there.
Already see the swaps coming in from both sides. It's an Orisa Roadhog combo, a little ball and chain like you'd expect. Ryukin switching over to a McCree after it was Genji there for a second. Switch over to McCree. Evan Vasquez now at a Hanzo. So Alpha Reflexes on a Sombra now, and it's Neon Blue Rain switching over to Tracer. So a lot of changes for both sides. We'll see how they play this well matchup. Immediately, Ryukin going toe-to-toe with Neon Blue Rain here on the red right side by this mini. Hasn't quite found any help, and it's purple there. Daniel Orford finally get the pick on Ryukin, so things immediately going the way of Kinetix early. It's a pull there from Daniel, or from Drago, not able to find anyone, but as a second kill goes the way of Kinetix, the control point opens up, and they have a 6 for it.
Yeah, and things not looking particularly good for the Trashcans right now. They're going to have to maybe back off a little bit and reset here. And Alpha Reflex is just plaguing them on the outside. Sparks goes down as well, and it'll be a hard reset for the team there. Oh, no. Awful Reflexes picks off Evan Vasquez as well. Vasquez decided to stick around and try and keep the fight going, Sultan, and it did not work out.
For the first time this season, I think, we're kind of seeing a panicked Trashcans. They've been very comfortable towards the top of the tier and have been very in control of a lot of their games, but Kinetix are kind of getting them out of their comfort zone a little bit, and at losing a 100-0 early on Ilios, then losing this point early, and it's just kind of a decisive team loss, a team fight loss. How much does that wear on kind of their tilt a little bit? Alpha Reflexes looking for the EMP opportunity is over the top. They just find it here, coming through. There's 4 people available, but they're already getting the kills. They don't even have to invest the EMP. It's a pulse for Neon Blue Rain. Dizzy Whitelaw gets a pick, and already a 6v4 here. A hack on the Spark means, again, Kinetix wrap this up. They're almost at 50% quarter.
They are almost at 50%, and once more, I feel like Royal Killer may be struggling a little bit on this Roadhog here. You kind of have to wonder why Ryukin maybe isn't the choice to play the Roadhog, considering just how effective he was earlier, but we did see 2 well kills there, too. A good early hook to pull Royal Killer into the well, and then I think Daniel Ford went in as well on a late grab here as they come in to engage. Awful Reflexes, though, waiting in the wings with an EMP, and they're boosting in to engage. There's the EMP. That might kill the attack dead. Sparks the first one down. Dizzy Whitelaw now throwing out the whole hog in here, pushes I'm Luciabro out, gets 2 with that. Royal Killer was also a victim of it. And now Headrammer in a terrible position as Anna just gets swept up and brought down. And boy, not looking good for the Trashcans here. 84% now on the board. Not a lot of time to turn this around, and no ults on the board to help them do it.
Well, and I think Trashcans, like you mentioned, no ultimates. I think they're just now building their first ultimates. Lucy Bro close to Supercharger. Headrammer has a Nano. Sparks close as well. But Kinetix have just coasted directly through this. We're already in overtime here, and as the attack starts to come around again, they're very splintered. Trashcans not quite unified. Dizzy Whitelaw now with the Nano gets hooked by Royal, but then able to take down his opposite quickly. The Supercharger out just to help everybody get a little bit stronger. It's already a 6v4, so Soundbeer comes out from Spark. There's the grab. Can't. Oh, Lucy Bro is able to pull Dizzy Whitelaw as he got a grab onto, I think it was their Lucio Spark. So again, Vasquez able to find one back. Maybe that'll help them win this fight, but things aren't looking good for the Trashcans.
Headrammer's still up though, still keeping Lucia Bro alive. That's going to give some time for the rest of the team to drift back in here. And now things looking kind of the way of Trashcans. If there's ever a chance for them to turn it around, they have to make it one right here. Is that a Diva Bomb that's going to go up in the back? No, it's a bit of a trick. A good purple in there on the main tank as well. Awful reflexes get I'm Lucia Bro, but that's 2 kills in kill feed. 4 bodies on the point now, and they will flip this, I think, right at the last minute. But with 99% on the clock, they're going to have to be absolutely perfect in their defense. And in that like mindset, they've already sacrificed the Roadhog here. Royal Killer has gone over to the Diva instead, so they are losing a little bit of that environmental kill potential to this sort of barnstorming Kinetix team. So
well, and what they're going to run into is, because of where their ultimates were built this next fight, it's going to be an ultimate advantage the way of Kinetix. Immediately, you rally coming out from Ryukin, though, just to keep the point defenders a little bit stronger. But Dizzy Whitelaw able to get a quick pick on a Royal Killer. Kinetix trying to do what they can to sleep onto Ryukin. As the Deadeye comes out, though, from Evan Vasquez, picks up 2. That'll be huge, though, for Trashcans. Plenty to hold on to this point. Things really going their way as Vasquez picks up a 4th here. Oh my god, this McCree completely popping off.
That'll learn you.
Somebody stop the Cowboy. Good lord. Gets 4 kills in that absolute dust-up. Great performance there from Evan Vasquez. That is exactly what they needed at that stage, one of their DPS players to just go to town. And I am enjoying the fact that a lot of people getting put down the well. That's always the most entertaining part of this stage for me.
Lots of switches coming through, though, for Kinetix. Neon Blue Rain now over to a Hanto as they go into engage this. Trigo still with another supercharge from Stats, who's got a sound barrier. Another fight breaking out, and so many quick team fights. Neon Blue Rain with a quick early pick on the main tank. Evan Vasquez drops as well to 6v4 for Kinetix. They get a 3rd kill. The blue team completely coming in. I think they caught Trashcans off guard or something. I don't know how that happened.
Now, Kinetix definitely going to win this. I can't imagine that the Trashcans will be able to keep this alive long enough to continue contesting. Sparks, I think, the only person in the immediate area. Oh, he tried to pop the sound barrier to keep himself alive. And he's grabbed back into a Hanzo arrow. Evan Vasquez diving in on the Doomfist, trying to stay alive as well. Will not get it, but I'm Lucia Bro. Has enough time to reestablish here, so Royal Killer coming in to back them up. Headrammer providing a lot of heals on this Moira. Just trying to keep this fight alive for as long as possible. Damage bongos come in. Dragons is thrown in across the point, though. That will find Sparks again, and that's unfortunate. But Neon Blue Ring pays for those Dragons with his life, even though, as we say that, though, Ryukin falls victim here, and it's a desperate corner defense from the Trashcans right now, just trying to hold on. Soundberry is committed here, and that might be the tipping point. Evan Vasquez in the backline creating just absolute havoc, and at least one healer still up, though. Sparks has come back. Awful reflexes goes down the pipe. And it's desperation time here for the Trashcans. They are just holding on as hard as they can to this point. They've delayed almost as long as they need to, but it's a big Diva Bomb across the back. It finds no one. I'm Lucia Bro still fighting this out. Neon Blue Rain dives in, is brought down almost immediately. And here they come back, charging onto the point. Ryukin down early again. A Coalescence being unleashed across the well now to just keep things going here. And Trashcans might actually pull this out. Sparks, though, goes straight down the middle of the well, and the kill feed just going absolutely back and forth here. Headrammer, no one side really establishing superiority.
Trigo just missed the shield directly into the well, so they won't have the same kind of defense, but I don't know what the target focus is from Kinetix. They should have absolutely won this. Finally, they start getting the kills they need, but Trashcan just able to stay alive by the fact that Kinetix hasn't been able to level it up, but there it is. Kinetix finally gets everybody off, and they take another lead in the series.
Wow, desperate stuff there from the Trashcans, but also kind of desperate stuff for Kinetix too. As you said, Sultan, they should have had that easy, I think, at that point in time, and the target focus was definitely off. Great job at the Trashcans managing to come back in and keep the fight alive, but not enough for them to take that, and thus the map does not go their way.
Yeah, so now if you're Kinetix, you got to feel really good about your position, able to take a lead in the series over this 1 seed. It's got to feel pretty good. They're looking like they're in a pretty good spot, but it's Kings Row up next, and again, anything can happen. Right back with the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Championship after this. And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Championship between Trashcans and Kinetix. Kinetix, I mean, just able to take that game on Ilios. This is back and forth now. They win the first map on Gibraltar, then lose on both skies. Trashcans are able to level it up. Then right back out on Ilios, Kinetix take another lead. And as we go into Kings Row, this is really anyone's game. I'm Salted Pepper, joined by Corbeck, and your immediate just reaction from that Ilios map. And what do you think? Are we done here, or do we go 5?
No, I did not expect Kinetix to take that 2-0. I think you were saying that as well during the break, that was a bit of a surprising result. I did think that the Trashcans would at least pick up a map there, but all things considered, I feel like it's been a bit sort of desperate performances from both teams at various times, and the margin separating these two is really razor thin. I mean, I do think that Trashcans up until Ilios had been performing better, but after that map, there's really nothing separating these teams. You don't want to say it's a matter of luck or whatever it is, but this could really be anybody's ball game. And I'm glad of all the maps that it could go to, Solon, it's going to Kings Row, because Kings Row is such a fantastic Overwatch map.
Yeah, definitely a fan favorite, and for good reason. One that I quite enjoy. We get a lot of really good matchups on this map. I actually don't think I've gotten a cast of this one in a bit, just with the map pool recently. So excited for this. I think both teams are ready to go. Not a lot of swaps coming through, but I think Tragic Event coming back in Trashcans in lieu of Lucibro. So see if that changes their shape a little bit. Both these teams have shown an ability to come into kind of these objective maps and perform well. So, and without further ado, we'll get you into Kings Row.
Now entering
Kings Row is such a fantastic map for Overwatch. It remains, I think, to this day, my favorite map. I know that a lot of pro players love this map. It just lends itself well to some really interesting compositions and some really exciting gameplay. And I'm very interested to see what these two teams make work here. Again, we saw neither team enter into Ilios running the standard sort of GOATS comp or really any variation thereof, Sultan. And you kind of have to wonder, if you're Trashcans, you're looking at the scoreline now, you're down a match or a map. Do you start running that 3-3 composition with a Zenyatta that was so impressive when they started on Gibraltar? Because I feel like this is the time where you kind of put aside any, I don't know, prejudice you have against the idea of running a 3-3, and you start pulling that out.
Yeah, well, like you said, the Zenyatta was so effective for Trashcans early on. Maybe they try and go back to that. I think that this is a good map for Zenyatta. And they definitely have the target focus to be able to do it. Obviously, it's late in the game, so to speak, but no reason to believe the Trashcans could utilize that to their advantage. They will be defending first here. And you mentioned it earlier. This has been a very attacking game, not a lot of defensive showing from either side, right? So maybe this is the opportunity. Trashcans get a full hold here, and all of a sudden it's anybody's game. So I think that they're in a good position after having lost to be able to defend first. But obviously Kinetix winning Ilios 2-0, they've got the tails up here and know that they can attack effectively. They get a quick cap here with time on the clock, and that might be lights out for Trashcans.
Yeah, I mean, Trashcans knows, right? If I understand the playoff rules correctly, which I like to think that I do, this is it, right? So if Trashcans does not win here, this match is over in favor of Kinetix. So Trashcans has to play like their backs are to the wall. So we should see some of the best gameplay we've seen all night here. And Ryukin already pushed up on the Sombra, looking to start this off by just finding a support and bringing it down. Now, Pharah is the hack target of choice. No Mercy instead. Ooh, trying to get either part of it. Oh no, but Ryukin just destroyed almost immediately there, and no luck. Royal Killer now rotating around the point, which is just giving time for this Pharmacy to just push forward almost uncontested towards the point salt, and there's really nothing they seem to be able to do about it.
Well, a huge pick early on. Alpha Reflex is falling very quickly, or rather Alpha Reflex able to get the kill very quickly onto Ryukin and Sombra, who's now switched over to a Widowmaker. Tragic able to answer one back before Kinetix can really get any supremacy on the point, so they may survive this as, I think it is going to be the attackers Kinetix retreating, but yeah, that could have been catastrophic here for the attack. Nice May wall in from the back from Evan Vasquez. May fight out a couple and does just that, as now the kill's really going the way of Trashcans, and I think they will comfortably win this initial engagement.
Ryukin came back on the Widowmaker there and just absolutely shut that Pharmacy down, but Awful Reflex is nearly sitting on a barrage here. Daniel LaFord already has an ultimate. Headrammer sitting on an ultimate too, but things definitely are, I would say, looking good for Kinetix. I'm kind of surprised that they didn't manage to win that fight, actually, all things considered, considering how big it was to just watch Ryukin get pulled out almost immediately right there. Evan Vasquez on this May, kind of alone, isolated up in the corner, and they know about it. They're diving on him right away. And that's the whole team that's going to be coming up to him. But Evan Vasquez manages to escape there. He's a slippery scientist, is May. Throws up the ice wall and just dives on the backside. Now you see this Pharmacy playing very tight around these corners, and Nano boosted Dizzy Whitelaw charging across the point, just trying to zone them out a little bit. Neon Blue Rain finds Ryukin. That's going to open up the Pharmacy. The barrage comes in, but the sound barrier was thrown out right before it sparks. Throwing that out, keeping the team alive, then turns around and just pops Awful Reflex out of the sky, and Kinetix kind of squandering whatever advantage they have there and is forced to reset Sultan.
Yeah, huge for Trashcans here. I don't know what we're seeing from Kinetix, but yeah, I think you kind of said it even before that last fight. In the first team fight, they got the early pick. They 100% should be able to take that with the 65 and the shorter respawn. Regardless, didn't pan out. Then they saw Evan Vasquez in a tight spot. He was able to get away, and Trashcans could clean up. So Kinetix just not taking full advantage of the opportunities presented to them. But now a stun coming in from Daniel Orfer on the Vegeta straight into Royal Killer. Blizzard in from the defenders. They'll catch Dizzy Whitelaw, who had his opposite Royal Killer pin. Royal's able to get the pick. Evan Vasquez gets in as well, and immediately the defenders looking like they're about to win another fight.
But you see those two DPS there have actually slipped up to the top row for Kinetix and are just looking for a good place that they can go and sort of post up and put in a little bit of damage. So I think Evan Vasquez has forced Neon Blue Rain out. Yeah, got the kill. Awful Reflex is actually teleporting back into the team there, and they're going to reset at the entrance. And now, after a really solid performance on Ilios, it looks for all purposes we're seeing here like it's Kinetix that are scrambling for answers as they come deep underneath. They throw in the grab. They're using the hotel, but another good May wall is put up to block a lot of the incoming damage. Daniel Ford going down early. Ryukin just uncontested right now, putting in Royal Killer will be brought out, but another big wall to just split up the team and cause as much havoc as possible. There are a lot of members, though, of Kinetix alive in the back line. Dizzy Whitelaw pushing it back towards the point, trying to get the fight in a little bit closer terms, somewhere that maybe won't benefit that Widowmaker as much. Evan Vasquez brought down, and there comes the sound barrier to extend this fight, and they want them to come in and contest on this point. And Royal Killer is happy to oblige. He comes back from spawn. He immediately jumps to the point, but it's a lot of red in the kill feed here, and I do think that, yes, they are indeed going to take this. Kinetix at the very tail end of their time, Salt managing to get the pickup here.
Well, where have we seen this before? Watchpoint Gibraltar all over again. Kinetix a little bit lethargic in their attack. We're finally able to cap this first checkpoint in overtime, and they move on to the payload section. Neon Blue Rain opted out there, having a little bit of difficulty on the Widow, switched over to Genji, and I think it helped a little bit. But yeah, Evan Vasquez putting some serious work on the first point, ultimately not getting the result there, but some solid walls definitely belayed Kinetix long enough to whittle down the time bank. Now just 2 minutes and 13 seconds, and a very conservative defense here from Trashcans means Kinetix won't be able to get a lot of these early kills to gain momentum. I think they're going to be in for a slog here. Now the defensive Graviton comes through with the Nano on the Royal Killer, the Blizzard as well. They're investing everything as Dizzy Whitelaw's purple kills going all the way in favor of the Trashcans, and they will kill any momentum that could have been earned by capping that first point.
Just absolutely savage right there, Salt, and they didn't even let them get under the bridge. They've been loving having this grab sort of Blizzard combo to just shut down the enemy team for an extended period of time. And all credit to Evan Vasquez, he's been throwing out Blizzards, just maximum impact Blizzards. Really good use of the Mei ultimate in a situation where it's not always easy to use the Mei ultimate, and they're still sitting on 2 ults coming out of that Royal Killer, who's leading the charge now into a vulnerable Trigo, but the grab coming out, of Blade thrown in as well. Dizzy Whitelaw getting in on the action as soon as Awful Reflexes throws in the bomb. But that was, if I'm counting right, Salt, they just committed 4 ultimates to that, and I don't think they needed to do that at all, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I was just about to say that they were going to be in a difficult spot by investing that many. But I mean, again, when they don't have a lot of time in the bank, so they're looking to try and get as much ground as possible. But yeah, they have nothing for this next fight. Dazzle will be close to a sound barrier, which can be helpful. But you're looking at a couple ults here, including a Shatter Dragon Strike combo from the defenders' Trashcans. A quick freeze goes through. Dizzy Whitelaw is able to get away as the defenders are sitting right here on the speed checkpoint. Now 40 seconds to go for the attackers' Kinetix, and they're just trying to get anything they can out of this map. Trashcans, though, again, an opportunity at the full hold, weren't quite able to find it. Shatter from Royal Killer goes directly into the shield of Dizzy Whitelaw and falls completely benign. Here comes the defensive Dragon Strike, though. Royal Killer and Vasquez getting a couple. Now the Nano in onto Royal continues to cause issues for... Oh, terrible sound barrier. I don't know. The fight was definitely gone there. Not a fan of that from Dazzle. Normally very strong with those sound barriers, but maybe worried they wouldn't have enough time to come back into the point to contest. Tried to do it, couldn't find it. Now completely wasted there. So Trashcans ultimately say they hold this. Looks like they'll be in a good spot. I don't think anybody can get back to this, actually. They haven't ready close enough to contest this. Oh yeah, Daniel Orford able to get back to the point, force the overtime. It's already starting to drop, though. Dizzy charges through. Here's the fight now right here at the death. A quick sleep onto that tank, though, and he'll drop. Pulse Bomb falls flat. He was already gone. Reflexes and Neon Blue Rain doing everything they can, but Ryu can get the kills. Here come the defensive ultimates. It's a Graviton out at the sound barrier. Royal Killer get into it. Yeah, that's going to just about do it. Overtime meter will drop. Trashcans defend well, and Kinetix able to get a point and some change. But yeah, I think if you're Trashcans, you're in a good spot. I think we also... Oh, that's Korvac here. We'll see if we can get it back in. But ultimately, Trashcans gave up a little bit more ground than I think it looked like they were going to. They had that overtime push, and it looks like they'd be in an okay spot. Or rather, they were forced down to overtime, but ultimately, Kinetix able to push through and got a little bit of progress. But again, on watch point, Trashcans gave up that point late, and Kinetix were able to go through and cap the map. Not this time, however. We'll get Korvac back in briefly, but as the comms start to shape up here for the attackers' Trashcans, familiar faces as it sparks on the Lucio headrammer going on a Zarya Ryan combo. Evan Vasquez back on the Brigida. It's a good comp for them so far. We'll see if Ryken decides to go. We'll go Genji instead of the Roadhog. Probably not the option here. For the defenders, Neon Blue Rain going Soldier as Awful Reflexes. Tries out the Mei that was so effective for the defenders. Do Whitelaw and Trigo back on their normal comp. Normal tank combination, rather. Daniel Orford and Dazzle supports. Evan Vasquez now switching over to a Mei instead of the Brigida for the attackers. We'll see how that affects their attack coming through.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Momentarily, just getting Korvac back in here, guys.
Defend objective
Coming out quickly, though, it's the Trashcans wasting absolutely no time trying to get the wall through, able to wall out. Awful Reflex is huge for them as Tragic Bang gets the final kill. It's a 6v5 for the attackers coming into the point. Quick ice block there will keep Evan Vasquez up, but all blue. And as the control point starts to go, Dazzle's trying to contest, but a lot of the members from Kinetix having to retreat. Dizzy able to get a pick the other direction on that pesky May, but still purple here on the point and does not have a lot of support. Starting to get closed out here. It's a full charge Tragic going directly in on that. Reinhardt finally does drop. Not a tick yet gone as the members from the defense continue to come back in and contest this, but Trashcans still with a lot of the advantage. All the reflexes and Neon Blue Rain starting to answer back, and the May wall could prove a little complicated here for Trashcans. A freeze on a Royal Killer, but he's saved by the sound barrier from Sparks. Huge for that support. Royal now swinging away. It's a Graviton coming through from Trigo, though, and Ultimate's immediately breaking out from both sides. There's the shadow coming from Dizzy. They invest quite a bit. Oh my god, Kilky going completely red here for Kinetix, and what looked like a strong Trashcans attack turns into a strong Kinetix hold.
My ultimate is ready.
Yeah, impressive defensive there from Kinetix, but the work's not done. As the attack comes back through, it's a 100 charge here for Trigo. The defensive Zarya, Neon Blue Rain for Kinetix, able to get a pick on Ryukin, but swapping the other direction is Tragic. Dizzy getting a kill, though. It's still a 5v4 here for the defenders as Sparks levels the playing field, getting his opposite. Still hard to tell who really has the advantage. It's really kills just swapping either side. Tragic for Trashcans, so high charge here trying to melt down the rest of these defenders, but I think that again, Trashcans just do not have the numbers to maintain this contention. And now just with 1 minute and 51 seconds left, Trashcans may need to change a few things up. They have some ultimates though. They'll have about 4 coming to this next fight. Ryukin here with the Dragon Blade, Tragic Fan with the Graviton, so expect them to be able to combine those well. Oh, but Neon Blue Rain with a quick pick on the Spark means they won't even be able to take this for another few seconds or so, and that could be a huge here for Trashcans. Corbett, do we have it back in here? There we are.
I am back in here. Power died. You hate to see it, folks. You really do. You know, I feel like that doesn't happen in Overwatch League very often, but I can't figure out why. As the big Dragon Blade comes into the back, there's a grab there to follow it up. Ryukin all over the place trying to get a pick here. But the picks instead going the other direction. A big Blizzard, though, chucked out a Gravel. Only gets Sparks. Dazzle trapped in that, but they're kind of barely able to finish it off there. Evan Vasquez was getting frozen by the counterpart, May. And Kinetix holding strong here with only a minute left on the clock for the Trashcans.
It was a gigantic sound barrier from Dazzle just to avoid a lot of that damage. The Dragon Blade came through. They actually combined it very well, but not quite able to get it as effective as they would have liked. The sound barrier able to avoid a lot of the damage, but now with perfect wall on a Royal Killer, he's completely crowded out by the rest of the defenders, and this fight immediately going the way of Kinetix early. It looks like, yeah, Trashcans looking to retreat, but Dizzy Whitelaw with a cheeky fire strike catches Evan Vasquez on his heels, and man, Kinetix, it's coming down right here. I thought we'd maybe see a little bit more of this map, and maybe we still will, but 25 seconds separates Kinetix from the championship. Can they shut down this Trashcans attack, who's been the #1 seed for some time in this tier? Not a lot. They're coming back in for the next attack. Royal Killer with the Shatter. Headrammer's got the Nano. Can they combine this well enough to make it work? A lot on the line here for Trashcans.
Oh, it's a big Shatter, though. Exactly what they needed. Royal Killer leading the charge, getting a pick. Evan Vasquez in there as well. They know that their playoff hopes are on the line. 4 bodies on point. Only awful reflexes there to contest. Daniela Ford just trying to help out from the outside. Doesn't want to get in too close. And they're going to concede this now. And it does look as though with their playoff life on the line, with that final on the line, Trashcans have managed to hold on here and get this point.
Yeah, huge for Trashcans to be able to turn that the other direction. Kinetix with the early pick looked like they were able to wrap up, but Trashcans resilient enough to hold on. Got Ryukin here on the Zarya with almost a 100% charge, but it's 5 ultimates rather for the defenders Kinetix. We'll see if a few of them come out now. Asleep on the Ryukin, huge. They leave that Zarya for dead, finally awoken, but now as the rally comes out from Evan Vasquez, the Graviton comes out from the attackers. It's another sound barrier from Dazzle. Let's see if that helps everybody. Tragic gets caught in the Shatter, as now it's sound barrier the other direction. Hard to tell who has the advantage. It's Tragic out of mech though, and things kind of going the way of Kinetix, I think. Ryukin gets a kill on a Neon Blue Rain, so just about even, and really nothing to separate these two teams.
on a razor's edge here, Sultan, as they push forward. Royal Killer just trying to find something. It's a big blizzard, though.
That is gigantic.
They'll at least get Royal Killer out of this, and he will go down. Tragic Event is brought down as well, but still a minute and 30 seconds. So Trashcans have the opportunity to back out and re-engage, and Sparks trying to do exactly that, getting Ryukin and Headrammer out. And how far do Kinetix want to push it? I guess the answer is not as far as underneath the archway there, and they will back up. But still, they managed to burn 3 ultimates out of the bank there on that one. So they have 3 going into this now, and we're going to have to see them used pretty well. The healers kind of separated, though. Sparks getting anti will not be able to keep Royal Killer up either. Tragic Event does manage to pick off awful reflexes, so they've got an advantage here if they want to push it, and they are. They'll use the Diva Bomb to initiate. Trigo goes down. Now they come charging around the corner. Oh, wow, Dazzle going down, Daniela Ford going down. It's huge stagger, Sultan, and I think that's what matters the most right here, is that they have completely messed up the respawn order for Kinetix at this stage.
Well, I was just about to commend Kinetix for their patience in engaging that point, and just kind of like, they didn't want to invest too far, but coming the other direction, Dizzy with the Shatter, doesn't even matter. Oh my god, Trash is able to tie up the series early. Nobody can come back to contest, and we're going to Game 5.
They did it because they did such a good job of just rolling those kills over like a good 20-30 second period that when they started to spawn back in, they had to like actively wait to regroup up and engage the team fight, and they didn't have enough time covering the distance that they had to make the difference. So whether that was intentional, whether it wasn't, it absolutely saved the day there, and we are indeed, Sultan, going to a Game 5, and this is peak Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen. This is exciting stuff.
Yeah, peak Overwatch indeed, and again, just living completely up to expectations. Kinetix and Trashcans all knotted up at 2 as we go to the final map. We'll be right back with the Rival Tier Championship from the Console Gaming League right after this. And welcome back to the Console Gaming League Rival Tier Championship. Man, this is it. Down to the wire. Trashcans able to pull one back after dropping twice in this game to Kinetix, who've been very strong throughout, winning on Gibraltar. Then it's Trashcans coming back on Volskaya, getting the win there. Then Kinetix, a dominant 2-0 performance on Ilios to take the lead, and then couldn't quite get over the line on Kings Row. Strong defense from Trashcans gets them to tie up a series. And now as we go to Lijiang Tower, everything on the line in this Rival Tier Championship. I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Korbek, and this game has been a whirlwind so far.
Yeah, I mean they have been neck and neck, these two teams, just and you know the 2-2 map 5 it perfectly reflects the way that these games have been going. I think what's most interesting though, Sultan, about what we're about to see here is that we are going to Lijiang Tower, which is another King of the Hill control, whatever you want to call it, map. And last time we were on a control map, things did not go well for Trashcans. They looked like they were struggling to figure out a plan, and Kinetix was just dominant in their 2-0 win. It was probably the most wide, like least close of all the maps that we played so far tonight. So if I'm Trashcans, I am definitely like brainstorming a good plan here. We're going to have to come in with some sort of strategy. And if I'm Kinetix, I'm feeling very confident. This is the opportunity to win your finals, and they could easily take it here. I think, I will say easily. I do think they could easily take it.
Well, you're exactly right. Kinetix with the most one-sided victory there in Ilios. We'll see if they replicate that. But we kind of talked in the off a little bit about how effective that Zenyatta comp had been for Trashcans on at Watchpoint. And obviously, ultimately, they lost that map. I don't know if that's playing into them a little bit. But you were kind of mentioning how effective that had been. And why do you think they maybe shot away from that?
I mean, I think you're kind of we're onto it. The idea that maybe they're thinking a little too meta here. They lost that map, so maybe they thought that the 3-3 with the Zenyatta wasn't a good call. But I mean, I've mentioned it, I think, in every single break. I really think they should walk it out again. It was so effective. They just shredded, and it would be really effective on a map like Lijiang. And we're gonna have to see something from them, because the lack of game plan last time absolutely destroyed them, and there are no opportunities here for mistakes. This is a razor's edge game in the most real way possible. Map 5, two incredibly evenly matched teams, and just whoever makes the most mistakes, it's a very John Madden-esque thing to say, but whoever makes the most mistakes is gonna lose. Like, you know, it sounds obvious, but you sometimes don't think about it. But yeah, whoever makes the most mistakes is gonna lose this. And that's just how it's going to be.
Well, and
so
you're
we'll
exactly
see
right.
what they want to run here.
That's the reality of the situation, because both teams have been capitalizing on those mistakes, but I think that the margin for error is even narrower on a control point. You think about the checkpoint kind of opportunities you have to regroup in the multiple rounds in the payload maps, or assault maps. You can go as long as you want it to, so to speak, but on these control points, you don't really have a lot of flexibility. One mistake can cost you a round, and all of a sudden you're one away from losing. So, really nothing to split these sides. Obviously, in a 2-2 here, no opportunities for a draw, so this will be the final map. Who comes away with the Rival Tier Championship? Both teams, after a long season, slugging it out, tied up here 6-2, and still nothing to separate them. Both 2-2 in the series. Man, you really can't ask for anything better. This is exactly what you want.
This is the storyline. This is the last map, best of 5 games, and here we go.
Both teams
coming out the gate already.
Identical comps, actually. Off from the Moira here from
Yeah,
the Ana
very
are
similar. And they're immediately engaging here on in the dojo. Neither team wanting to give up any space at all. Royal Killer getting 2 though. Taking 3 with him theoretically. If you count Dizzy Whitelon, it's a huge charge from Royal Killer to initiate this, and Reinhardt making the most glorious of sacrifices. They're taking 3 of the enemy team off the edge with him. And if you're Neon Blue Rain and Daniel or Ford, you gotta have to be scratching your head right now, wondering what just happened, because wow, the Reinhardt train chugged straight through the station and didn't slow down on that one, Salt. Good lord.
A huge momentum for Trashcans right off the bat. Royal Killer getting a quick double, and then just going right off the bat with Dizzy Whitelaw. And yeah, helping Trashcans earn the point early. I don't think they earned the point first in either of the 2 Ilios maps, so already off to a better start than they were on the previous control point. Dizzy Whitelaw, however, the first one to an ultimate, however. It's kind of shocking. Quick kill from Tragic on all the reflexes. Yeah, I think you probably hit it right there. It means that Trashcans are going to continue to be able to hold this point. Dizzy can't quite find the space, gets slept. I think he actually may get crowded out here.
you have to wonder, Sultan, where this Trashcans was a couple of maps ago on Ilios, because they're looking pretty dominant right now. The Nano Boost coming out, though, with the Coalescence just countering it out, pushing Royal Killer back. And here
huge.
comes the... Oh, it's a big hammer down, though, going the other way. It's huge. You got 3 people in that, maybe even make it 4. But still, Tragic Event and Royal Killer both go down there, so not able to capitalize it. And with 56% left on the clock, it's just Headrammer and Sparks kind of fighting this out. And we can see Sultan Sparks just dancing around in those rafters there. They don't want he doesn't want to come down. So finally, Daniel Ford gets him and puts an end to it.
Yeah, Trigo for me gets the MVP of that fight. Dizzy Whitelaw got pinned there after a fantastic shatter from Royal Killer, but it was the bubble onto that Reinhardt that kept him alive long enough for him to crowd out Royal and then go in to turn that fight the other direction. Kinetix now take the point. Good for them. Still about even on ultimates from both sides as Neon Blue Rain and Ryukin both looking to find the spots for these Death Blossoms. There comes the first one. Ultimates all over the place. Double Gravitons. Still sound barriers from both sides. All the reflexes getting the first pick on the Tragic, though, so Kinetix going to feel like maybe they can take this. Here comes the Death Blossom from Ryukin, but oddly timed, Dazzle will take him down for its trouble as the Blizzard comes out from Evan Vasquez on the point for Trashcans. Still no kills, though, for the blue team. A purple in onto Dizzy puts him in a tough spot, but he may get to the safety of his supports. Shatter here from Royal finds a couple. Now the kills go in the way of Trashcans. Late Blizzard from Awful Reflexes. I don't know if that's enough to turn this around, but looking to get the kill in the Royal. Yeah, I don't know about... still maybe a few nope.
As well, though, and yeah, they're gonna flip it. And we saw just a little bit of target lock there from Awful Reflexes. He threw the Blizzard in, and he actually had Headrammer frozen in it. But he was so focused on shooting icicles into Royal's face that he didn't turn around and get what probably would have been an easy 2-shot kill on the super vulnerable Ana, which allowed Headrammer to stay up.
Yep.
And he has a nano, and is slow to get back into the fight, so maybe just a bit of a mistake there. Dizzy Whitelaw initiating, the Coalescence coming out as well. Sound barrier thrown in, a hammer down, gets not very much out of that at all. Royal Killer takes Trigo way outside, but might be in danger of getting burned down in there. But meanwhile, Ryukin doing his best to just even it up inside the dojo. And they don't really want to come in here. 99% now on the clock. Oh, it's a lot of blue in the kill feed, though. Really only Trigo left to contest this. Even as I say that, Daniela Ford just kind of hanging out on the back line, trying to keep Trigo alive. Unfortunately, Daniela Ford off the edge of the map by Sparks, and they will get the first win here. So a very powerful, convincing-looking Trashcans coming out. We did not see this on Ilios, Sultan.
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that. It was probably the worst shadow that we've seen Dizzy do all game, and it just wasn't great. I think that he kind of telegraphed it a little bit. Royal Killer was able to pivot around and save them, and all the way around. Kinetix, there was a little bit of a brightness there in the center, but ultimately the Trashcans' target focus was better. I think that their ultimate usage was better, and yeah, Kinetix now, after dominating this game, at least on the scoreboard for most of the time, now facing elimination, with Trashcans having the first round in this map. Huge map here.
It is a huge stage map, whatever you want to call it, and it will be Gardens, and neither team running the Pharah here to initiate, which is such a popular choice, and they are already on a collision course here, Salt, and they're going to slam right into each other in this tiny little room.
Ryukin back on the Roadhog though, and I love it. I think we saw him usually effectively earlier, and now looking for a hook over the side, may find it, right into the
and it gets one!
Whitelaw, gigantic there for Ryukin. That'll offset the fight for Trashcans early. He'll move into point. They'll open here in about 5 seconds or so. You expect them to win this first fight with Kinetix both positionally and numerically disadvantaged.
Oh, and what a hook there by Ryukin. He picked out his target, he waited, he was uncontested standing across the way, and he knew exactly who he wanted to go for, and he found it. And now just back-footed right out the gate. It's got to be some desperate plays here from Kinetix. They've done so well to get so far into this. Now Trigo and Dizzy Whitelaw leading the charge. Lucio nearby. I think he's hunting for a boop. Oh no, Dizzy's committed. He's trapped back in here. I don't think he's... No, the rest of the team, he's Big Shatter. He'll turn it around. And just when it looked like Dizzy Whitelaw was dead in the water, a huge Earth Shatter to turn this entire point around for Kinetix. And Tragic Event brought out of it as well, thrown over the edge. It was just Evan Vasquez left there on the point to contest, and they'll flip it with 34% on it. And Sultan, that was an amazing play by Dizzy.
Yeah, incredibly impressive there from Kinetix. You're right, Dizzy looked like he was in no man's land, but able to get the shatter off and kind of turn that fight around. But Trashcans coming right back. Ryukin with a hook onto Awful Reflexes will be able to retreat to the rest of the team, as now Trashcans looking to pivot around the other direction. We'll see how quickly the current point defenders respond. They'll go in to meet them in this back hallway. Ultimates, I think, slightly favoring Trashcans as they come back through. Neon Blue Rain with a Deadeye gets blocked out by the wall here from Evan Vasquez. Will not get a chance to use it. Smart there. Neon Blue Rain, I think, also could use his. Neon Blue Rain could use his, but I think it's kind of stalled the fight there momentarily. Coalescence coming through now from Headrammer, and it's a whole hog from Ryukin. And Ultimates again all over the place.
Either of these teams shy about throwing in their ultimates here, Sultan, and everything but the kitchen sink once again being deployed. Sound barriers hammered down. Royal Killer pulls Dizzy Whitelaw out of it, and the two Reinhardts just battling on the outside eventually. Royal Killer getting the better on that fight, and it does look like the Trashcans will turn that around. But some excellent play setups by Kinetix there too, as Awful Reflexes is burned down. That grab with the Diva Bomb through the window was just well timed. I mean, that was perfectly executed. Just a really good Maywall from Evan Vasquez with the Reinhardt shield backing it up to just stop them from taking advantage of that. And the Trashcans look just fantastic right now. But Kinetix 62% on, so they're not out of this by any means.
Now, they do have the lead in this round, at least for the time being. Neon Blue Rain switched over to a Junkrat. I think that's a solid switch. Still ultimates available here for the attackers Kinetix, and we'll see how they engage this point. Not wasting any time coming in directly. It's a Graviton, though, from the current point defenders, Trashcans. Shatter going the other direction, finds a few. They're not able to really capitalize. Now getting the kills, and Dizzy Whitelaw picks up its opposite. Neon getting the mix as well, as now it's a 6v4 for Kinetix. Ryukin trying to do something, but I think it is going to be Trashcan retreating, as Trashcan, they're able to take a little bit of the advantage, but Kinetix will take the point right back.
And neither team really able to just assert dominance over one another, despite the fact that the Trashcans look so convincing on the first point. They've done such a good job, Kinetix, of just coming back into this. Dizzy Whitelaw has been playing an amazing Reinhardt. That's not to knock Royal Killer at all, but Dizzy has been hitting the plays that he needs to play. An early tire coming in now, and he's got Evan Vasquez out of it, so that'll immediately tip the fight in favor, and they're going to fight up in this room. Ooh. No, never mind. They're backing off. Daniela Ford actually getting hooked on by Ryukin on the outside. He's the most dangerous DPS on the team. It's a huge shatter, but they try and follow it up, and they're grabbed, and Awful Reflexes gets two with the bomb. Headrammer finished off by Trigo as well, and it's 97%, and there's nobody who can even as they say that, one member of the team touching. It's Ryukin. Of course, Lucio on the outside, he's trying to dive in as well. Sparks here now, keeping it alive. Sparks falls out the window.
Doing everything they can.
Here.
Royal's trying to get on, can't quite. Tragic, maybe. It's still ticking down. Tragic trying to get on. They're trying to contest as long as possible. I think they're just looking for a kill with the tire, but the overtime meter ticks down, and that is it. It's all tied up on Bleachung Tower. 1-1, 2-2 in the series. It's like literally you can't get any tighter than this.
No, you cannot. And we said going into this was a razor's edge matchup. These two teams so close to one another, and they are proving it. This is going to the actual literal down to the wire, neck and neck, to the very bitter end here, and it is going to be just an all-out brawl on Control Center to assert the win. And I actually couldn't tell you, Sultan. I don't know who this is going to go for. I really don't.
I've literally no idea.
It could be either of them.
Yeah.
It really could be either of them. You do see some switches maybe coming in here. I think Tragic Event. No, okay. Pure Goats now. The 3-3, pure 3-3 coming out from Trashcans. Meanwhile, on the other side, sticking with the Junkrat and the triple tank there. And here they are already engaging on the point. Royal Killer just holding that shield up. Evan Vasquez helping him a little bit, just spacing out the enemy team, keeping them up in that computer room there. And they don't want to commit here. Neither side really ready to rush into the fight. Both of them just more than happy to engage in this extended poke phase. And that's not super effective for the 3-3. You want to be up in their face, but I think they're a little afraid of getting into the room with that Junkrat. Evan Vasquez now taking point, and the point already going the way of Trashcans here, and finally that's the galvanizing action. They will commit. Headrammer going down early, and Sparks, and those are the people you don't want to lose in the 3-3 right at the beginning. Evan Vasquez probably doesn't have the healing to keep his team up, and maybe they need to disengage, but instead they're just going to keep fighting this out and holding on, and they will pay for that. Royal Killer going down, Evan Vasquez falls. Tragic Event, D-Mech, Trigo just blazing away with that beam there. More than happy to burn the rest of them down, and they're falling back in disarray now, and Trashcans will reset with 26% on the payload. Or point, I should say.
Well, we saw a
Doesn't
couple
look like
things
a
there.
payload to
You're
me.
exactly right. A lot of really conservative approach from both sides, but it was Trashcans set up on a point early and kind of were able to cheat a little bit to that 26%. Not cheat in a literal sense, but the fact that Kinetix didn't even contest them for that initial point was kind of shocking, considering they did win that first point. Now it's a Tire coming out, though, a Sound Barrier to try and help allay a lot of the damage coming around the back. May find somebody and does find a little killer, as now Kinetix will eclipse the point earned by Trashcans to take the lead in this round. Still pressuring, though, just the one kill to their advantage, but it is Trashcans retreating, though, looking for another fight. Evan Vasquez now switching over, though, to the Doomfist. It could be a good pick for them, but it's 5 ultimates for the current point defenders. Here comes a Graviton, though,
Big
from the
grab
attack.
in there,
Trashcans
bomb
looking to catch a
chuck
couple.
in the back, hammer down thrown in as well. Bomb will get no one. Counter grab comes out. Evan Vasquez finds Danielle or Ford, and they're not able to follow up their Graviton either. So both teams committing ults, but it's Evan Vasquez just on a tear, and we've seen this before, Sultan, with this Doomfist just destroying Kinetix.
Yeah, a tear is exactly how I would describe it. Evan Vasquez is just the chaos that Trashcans need to disrupt this consistent Kinetix defense. 5 ultimates there for Kinetix, not including the Neon Blue Rain Tire, so they used 4 in that fight and were not able to hold on to the point, so that'll be major for them. Trashcan's able to come back now with an ult. They'll have a few more in this next mid fight, so they can definitely swing this and take the advantage. Neon Blue Rain coming out with a very preemptive Tire, looking to find something, but Tragic Event privy to it. He takes it down. That's huge there for the Diva. Now coming through on this next attack, Dizzy Whitelaw will have a Shatter, and Daniel Wolford has a Coalescence. Just a Sound Barrier and a Meteor Strike, though, for the Trashcans. Using one of them now as Evan Vasquez looking for a couple targets. Can't find anything, but still trying to get into the mix here. Trashcans zoning out well. Kinetix haven't elected to contest just yet, but now as they come through with the Coalescence, Dizzy Whitelaw does a Shatter directly into the shield, and they'll be a little upset they didn't get a little bit more out of that one.
It's big. It's big. Dazzle got taken out in that one. That was a really good Shatter, a good series of ultimates. It's huge grab thrown in as well, but there's no real follow-up to it. Even as I say that, though, they are getting the kills. Evan Vasquez on this Doomfist has just been all over the place, causing all sorts of damage. The most disruptive he can possibly be. And Awful Reflex is getting killed super late there, and that's a huge stagger for a team that's staring down less than 10% left in their chance to win this finals.
Well, now it's right down to the wire. No time for conservative approaches. They're going to have to scramble back to the point. They do not have a lot of time. Just 5 seconds left. It's a Dazzle Sound Barrier as they come into engage this, though. A Neon Blue Rain Tire as now we hit overtime, looking for targets in the back. Finds both supports. That's huge for Neon Blue Rain. Kinetix maybe take this point back. A selfish joke over the top. Hasn't found anyone. Ryukin trying to get a kill here for Trashcans, but I think Kinetix have a bit of the advantage. Graviton coming out, catches the Doomfist, Evan Vasquez. Ryukin dropped as well, but the problem is there's no ultimates left here for Kinetix going into this final fight.
And Kinetix is going to turn this around.
They use just about everything there.
Just the margins, they turn it around. Danielle, yeah, they did use almost everything they had. Sold Danielle or Ford holding onto a Coalescence, but no ultimates to respond to what's going to be coming out of the Trashcans right now. Coalescence coming out, dueling Coalescences across the point. Tragic Event is forward, Meteor Strike up in the air, looking for a target. Hasn't quite seemed to find one yet, but they're pushed back on here. Neon Blue Rain is slept and brought down, or not slept, I think he was just knocked into the wall by the Earth Shatter. I just realized there's no Ana playing, but Dizzy Whitelaw fighting it out on the point. They do not want to give this up, and now it's 92% sound barrier thrown in. This is everything, ladies and gentlemen. They are using all that they can. These two teams playing at their absolute peak, trying to hold on to this. Big bomb gets Evan Vasquez out, but there's still a lot of bodies on point for the Trashcans, and it's going to take something absolutely amazing to hold on to this. Dazzle throws and the sound barrier as well, and it could really go either way. It's down to the absolute wire.
Oh my god.
Royal Killer taken out of it, Headrammer taken out of it. There's the grab that'll finish it off. There's no way. Evan Vasquez, the only person he can touch. He has to get in. He has 1 second. He's basically on there. He's fighting it out now. He just has to stay alive for a little bit longer. Nobody's there. And they'll take it.
No,
Kinetix
that is
will take
it. Kinetix with the rival tier championship. That is huge. Able to pull that back at the very death, and Kinetix are your rival tier champions, taking down the 1 seed Trashcans. Oh my god, what a matchup.
Just what a spectacular game all around. Both these teams played their absolute best Overwatch. We saw some spectacular stuff coming from either side. It was just a joy to watch, a joy to cast. I mean, we could not have asked for a better finals game to start us off here, Sultan. That was spectacular.
Absolutely not. Definitely did not disappoint. Just wonderful performance from both sides. And congratulations to Kinetix. We will get some post-game thoughts and be right back with the CGL post-game on Console Gaming League. Man, just what a game. And welcome back. Congratulations to Kinetix, your rival tier champions. A spectacular 5-game series, and they defeat the Trashcans. Man, that was a game, just solid game from top to bottom. I'm your host, Sultan Weber, joined by Corbeck, and yeah, I mean, no complaints whatsoever. Right down to the wire, all the way through 1-1 in the final map in the best of 5 series, and a 99-99 overtime. It does not get any better than that. Corbeck, I know we'll get into kind of the your analysis in the CGL postgame coming up right after this, guys. Don't go anywhere. But just your initial reaction to that impressive performance from Kinetix there at the death.
I mean, it was fantastic. It was a great game. I almost feel like my game knowledge is not enough that I could actually do this justice from an analysis perspective, because it was so close. It was so enjoyable to watch. It was so great. I mean, it was just spectacular.
Yeah, just superlative upon superlative. I'm excited to be able to bring this game to you guys. Again, the CGL postgame coming up right after this, so don't go anywhere. We will have the captain of Kinetix, Dazzle, the Lucio player, in here to kind of give us his thoughts. And again, congratulations to Kinetix. Yeah, thank you guys for joining. Again, we'll be right back with the CGL postgame. Don't go anywhere.
Royal Killer drops the hammer. I didn't really get much from that, but the counter hammer was big. Unfortunately, Dizzy Whitelock goes charging in the backline. He's immediately brought down. It's 2 initial picks here. Make it 3 for Trashcans, where you can... Didn't really get much from that, but the counter hammer was big. Unfortunately, Dizzy Whitelock goes charging in the backline. He's immediately brought down. It's 2 initial picks here. Make it 3 for Trashcans, where you can getting brought down. Follow-up sound barriers thrown in. There comes the Dragons across it. I think it's a little too late, though. There won't be anything in it. A big hammer down, counter hammer down going out. All the
huge
used. Diva bomb out. It's no one, but it's 3 kills. Really trying to turn around here for Kinetix. Can they get the kills, the Trashcans? Can they get the kills they need to turn this around? They're close to it. This is a nasty composition. Sultan, it really is, and I think
a little bit wasted here from Trashcans. Kinetix actually will wrap this up immediately. That could have gone way south for Kinetix here, but they were able to weather the storm of the initial graviton, respond with their own. They invested some ultimates, but you know, get this just all the way back to spawn.
They'll stop and get it. This might be the opportunity here for Trashcans to turn it around, but no, the barrage comes in from Daniela Ford. He gets 2. It's big. It's exactly what they need. Trigo will then finish off the Zenyatta, and it's desperate straights here. A lot of red in the kill feed. Things could go either way right now, though. Coalescence coming in combined with the Valkyrie, just hunting for kills right now. Anything to keep this payload moving forward. Tackvisor, I think, is out by where you can. I didn't hear the noise of it go, but he's trying to hunt.
Rocket Rush comes through from reflexes, but wow, almost 6 minutes on the clock for Trashcans to come out of this Volskaya attack.
Well, enough done there as well. Alpha Reflex is dropping in behind the lines, pumping damage into the back of Royal Killer. And Dizzy Whitelock has everybody where he wants them, trapped in a tiny little room with one really big Reinhardt hammer. And he's just going to barrel through looking for it. And the Alpha Reflex is actually gets 2. With a little bit of help there from Dizzy Whitelock and Trio, you get 2, and they'll push right onto the point. The grab is thrown in. It's big. They get 2 picks out of that as well. I'm Lucia Brocel.
Blue Rain indication quickly. Here come Trashcans to turn the screw on the defenders, and yeah, getting another pick, right? You can a nice switch over to Roadhog, and Kinetix should have to retreat. They'll maybe live to fight another day, but triple here for this Roadhog.
Leading the charge onto the point, backed up by the rest of his team, but Neon Blue Rain just takes the old Viking crew cut there on Evan Vasquez, and Headrammer 2 falls victim to some gunfire. You can try
and kill Goku Wave Kinetix. The control point opens up, and they have 6 before it.
Yeah, and things not looking particularly good for the Trashcans right now. They're going to have to maybe back off a little bit and reset here. And Alpha Reflex is just plaguing them on the outside. Sparks goes down as well. The whole hog in here pushes Iron Lucifer out, gets 2 with that. Royal Killer was also a victim of it. And now Headrammer in a terrible position as Anna just gets swept up and brought down. And boy, not looking right.
You can, as the data comes out though from Evan Vasquez, picks up 2. That'll be huge though for Trashcans. Wanting to hold on to this point. Things really going their way as Vasquez picks up a 4th here. Oh my god, this McCree completely popping off.
They throw in the grab. They're using the hotel, but another good May wall is put up to block a lot of
huge
damage. Daniela Ford going down early. Yukin just uncontested right now, putting his rear of the killer will be brought out, but another big wall
momentum, and I think they're going to be in for a slog here. Now the defensive graviton comes through. It's a nano on the Royal Killer, the Blizzard as well. They're investing everything as Dizzy Whitelaw's purple kills going all the way in favor of the Trashcans, and they will kill any momentum that could have been earned by capping that first point. Swinging away, it's a graviton coming through from Trigo though, and ultimates immediately breaking out from both sides. There's the shatter coming from Dizzy. They invest quite a bit. Oh my god, Filthy going completely red here for Kinetix, and what looked like a strong Trashcans attack turns into a strong Kinetix hold.
Use the Demon Bomb to initiate. Trigo goes down. Now they come charging around the corner. Oh wow, Dazzle going down, Daniel Ford going down. It's huge stagger salt, and I think that's what matters the most right here is that they have completely messed up the respawn order.
Ryukin back on the Roadhog though, and I love it. I think we saw him usually effectively earlier, and now looking for a hook over the side, may find it. Oh, right into the
and it
gets
gets one.
Whitelaw, gigantic there for Ryukin. That'll offset the fight for Trashcans early. He'll move into point. He'll open here in about 5 seconds or so.
Well, but there's no real follow-up to it. Even as I say that, though, they are getting the kills. Evan Vasquez on this Doomfist has just been all over the place, causing all sorts of damage. The most disruptive he can possibly be.
Point back, a selfish choke over the top, hasn't found anyone. Ryukin trying to get a kill through the Trashcans, but I think Kinetix have a bit of the advantage. Graviton coming out, catches the Doomfist, Evan Vasquez. Ryukin dropped as well, but the problem is there's no ultimates left here for Kinetix going into this final fight. And welcome to the Console Gaming League kind of CGL postgame, I guess. Congratulations again to Kinetix, the rival tier champions, defeating Trashcans 3-2 in just a 5-game slugfest. And again, like I said, this game couldn't have been more satisfying as a final. Both these two teams are duking out, the first seed versus the second seed, and I'm really just happy with the performance from both sides. Again, I'm your host, Salt and Pepper, joined by Corbeck, and we've got the Kinetix captain, Dazzle, here. But we'll have him on in just a second. Corbeck, your post-game thoughts again. Just what do you think was the biggest kind of change there for Kinetix? What do you think it was to push them over the line there in Lijiang?
What pushed them over the line in Lijiang?
Kind of
Man, I don't know. It was hard to say. It was so frantic and so fast paced. I think it was, at the end of the day, it was just kind of winning the fights after the ults had been committed. Like when both sides had thrown in all the ultimates, they were just able to turn it around. I also think that a lot of credit should be given to Dizzy Whitelaw for playing such a spectacular Reinhardt across all those maps. I mean, just playing so well. And it's not that the other Reinhardt wasn't playing well, because he definitely was, but Dizzy was all over the place. He was doing a great job.
Yeah, I've not really hidden my Dizzy Whitelaw fanaticism, so definitely a solid DPS player. But again, we've got Dazzle, the Kinetix captain, and first of all, welcome to the post-game. Thank you for coming on, and congratulations to you guys for a spectacular win. Kind of talk me through your just how you felt going to Lijiang. Obviously, you guys had taken the lead twice in the series, and then Trashcans were able to claw back into it. Going into Lijiang, they win the first round. What's your mindset, and how do you respond?
Well, I mean, I think it started with King's Row. We felt, at first we were a little down on the fact that our attack was slightly lackluster on our part, because we only got it to halfway through the map. But then we felt confident on the first defense. The problem was that we felt like we almost had the full hold, but that it wasn't able to happen. And but it brought us the momentum to Lijiang Tower. So when we got to the first map on Lijiang, we were just trying to assume what they were going to run, and we ran things that were going to be, we thought they were going to run goats, and we were going to counter them. But then we saw that they ran basically what we were going to run, but they ran it with an Ana. So the first attack, we had the anti. So it kind of messed us all up, and they got it first, and they did a really good job at kind of battling us through that first map. And we just, I think the best thing that we did was basically keep our composure throughout the last two maps, where we knew, okay, well, they're gonna probably do this, so we should counter them with that. We found that the May was effective on their side and on our side, so we decided to run it. Junkrat really came through for us.
Oh yeah.
In the last two maps, so we decided to just keep running Junkrat because it was very effective. And yeah, that's basically what it is. Just Trashcans are so good at keeping composure and adaptability, and we just had to match that basically.
Indeed. Now, so I just want to know, so we go back to the very first map, right, Gibraltar, and that's probably a distant time in your memory right now, because things were so intense for the majority of that. But Gibraltar, you guys did not have, I would say, no offense, but the most solid performance. And then you came out and you did pretty. Sorry, was it Gibraltar? You had the really solid performance. It was Gibraltar, and then the second one you struggled a bit. Where were you guys thinking when you came into King's Row? Because I know you said that was the pivot point for you guys in a lot of respects. What were you thinking when you came into that map?
Well, we were kind of all over the place, especially Watchpoint Gibraltar. I mean, most of the season we had Minty available for us. By the way, Minty's my stepdaughter, so she was able to help me out, and she because Neon Blue Ring was kind of late. He was struggling to get in. We were like, well, let's just put Minty in. We hadn't practiced in scrims with her for a long time, and she's primarily a support main, so we were kind of struggling on how to implement her on the attack. But I mean, I think Kinetix is really good at coming back, basically. I mean, when it looks like we're down, we do something and we reassess our situation, and we come back really strong. And I think that's exactly what happened in Watch Point. That's what we thought we were gonna do on King's Row. But again, Trashcans are so good at adapting to everything that they were able to do what we did on Watch Point, but on King's Row. So it was just a back and forth.
Yeah, there definitely was. Another question I had is how highly or how worried were you about Ryuken's Roadhog throughout those games? Because he just
was
seemed
actually
to be, like, going off.
Yeah, it was actually very worrying, especially Li Zhang first map where he was getting very good hooks, and he was taking out a lot of the first picks. Especially the first attack that we had to retreat because I believe he was able to hook Dizzy, and that was unfortunate for us. But we reassessed what we needed to do, and we kind of tried different things. And I think that first map was just us testing out what we could do and how they were able to adapt. And then we just went ahead and assumed what they were going to do for the next few maps and just brawled it out. I mean, we're a really good team when we let the enemy team come to us and we just fight one-on-one, brawling it out. And Li Zhang's the perfect map for that, so we were able to do that really well.
Indeed. I guess this would be as good a time to ask you, is there any specific players on your team you want to highlight, or specific plays you thought were just like absolute game changers you wanted to get some recognition in front of the watching crowd here?
Absolutely. I think well, first off, I would be remiss to not mention Daniel. I think throughout the entire season, he's been an amazing Ana, and he often tells me, like, oh, sometimes I don't get recognition on the stream, and but he does his absolute best, and he's sometimes it doesn't get seen a lot, but he carries as a support. Sometimes he does so well, and it enables Dizzy to be able to just engage so much faster and harder, to be able to just swing his hammer and shield and just do very well, basically. And so a lot of the highlights that Dizzy has is a lot due to Dan being able to just pocket him so well. And then obviously, Neon and Awful Reflex, which by the way, I mean, I know I'm biased here, but I want to say that they are probably the best. I think they're the best DPSs in our tier. Like, I don't say that lightly. I know people who are in other teams, they tell me they're like, wow, those DPSs are amazing, and they truly are. And then you couple that with Trigo on Zarya, it's just a good combination. Dizzy and Zarya playing together, they had really good synergy, and we were just able to be a very aggressive team, able to come back a lot. So that's what really secured a lot of our victories.
Yeah, definitely need to echo those sentiments. You're right, Daniel Warford, playing support, did a just really solid job. And obviously you're right there as well on the Lucio play. I think a really good support line. But just talking about your two tanks, you do have just a solid, seems like everybody playing well in pairs, right? Neon Blue Ray and Alpha Reflexes, like you mentioned, very solid defense combo, DPS combo. Dizzy Wylon Trigo able to work really well together, and a lot of Dizzy's deep dives saved by a Trigo bubble. So just good synergy there between those two. Then Daniel Warford, and then you there on the support. You guys doing a great job keeping everybody up all the way around. Strong Kinetix performance. I think that throughout this 5-game series, this was Kinetix at the best. I'm glad that I was able to watch it. And yeah, Corbett, I don't know if you have anything else for Dazzle, but again, congratulations and thank you for coming on the post game, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations, Dazzle. Well played.
Thank you very much. I very much appreciate it.
That will just about do it for us, guys. Again, I appreciate everybody watching. A solid rival tier championship. Congratulations to Kinetix. 1 in the books, but a few more on the way. All of those finals coming up here. I'll get you the stream schedule. You can always just drop down, grab the link in to our Discord below, and find out when all those games are going down. But we got Chaotic and Inner Circle coming up Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and the Contender Tier Championship Boosting Company and Phantom Thieves also. Should be a really good matchup. That's 11 p.m. Eastern, a little bit late there on Saturday. Then we got a doubleheader of the champion tier championship between Buffalo Banditos and the Pink Sox. That should be another solid game. Pink Sox besting the #1 seed Buffalo Banditos earlier in the regular season. That's Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, right here on CGL Overwatch. And then to close it out, the Carbon Tier final, 7 p.m. Eastern, Unacceptable versus the Undefeated Wasted Potential. And a lot of solid stuff as we close out the rest of this season. It's been a lot of fun so far, and I'm looking forward to the rest of these finals games. But yeah, that good stuff. Make sure you check out the breakdown Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be able to recap all of these finals games and bring you top plays. Clip this. There's a ton of plays in this game that could have been clipped, honestly. So make sure you get to it, guys. Submit those by, I guess we'll say Monday night, right? Probably cut off for that. And that CGL Happy Hour Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, rather. We've got General No Nibs and Skate Action, bringing you kind of just a relaxing, non-competitive, just kind of a fun little hour of Overwatch entertainment. That's a lot of fun as well, so make sure you're over on the CGL Overwatch for that. A lot of exciting events coming up, guys. Make sure you're in the Discord for it, but that will just about do for us. Corbeck, good nights. Any final thoughts to the crowd here?
No, just that I'm so glad so many of you were able to watch what was truly a spectacular game of Overwatch. You called it solid. I would call it, just absolutely spectacular. It was really an enjoyable game. It was a pleasure to cast with you, Sultan, and I'm happy that so many people got to see such good Overwatch coming out of console. I really am. It was great stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And pleasure's mine, Corbeck. Love casting with you, man. And this is just a taste of what's to come, guys. Obviously, CGL is growing. We've got EU and PS4 regions and platforms as well. Season 6 brings a lot of exciting things. Make sure you're in the Discord and aware of everything that's happening. A lot of exciting stuff. But that will do it for us, guys, for the Console Gaming League. Again, congratulations to Kinetix for winning the Rival Tier Championship. He's Corbeck. I'm Salt and Pepper. See you guys next time.